Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, an anime news show, a niche news show, basically anything that either Baku and I find interesting or find it deep into the bowels of our souls that we've got to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. And guys, we got some stuff to talk about it. We got some stuff. Oh, it's Am I ready for it? I don't know. I hope so, because I know I'm not either. We are not streaming at our usual time. Normally we stream this every Wednesday at what? Sunday. We stream every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We Oh, Baku, are you muted? Oh,
Oh no. Well, you can hear me, so that's on you.
there we go. That's my bad. I don't know how that
Hello.
happened, but
Mm. Can y'all hear me now? Am I still silenced by the Derek?
oh man.
There we go. Okay, great. Thank you. This
All
this
right.
is why we got to do the post. No, the pre-check.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. We should do
Hello,
our
hello.
pre-show stream and everything. Anyways, yeah, I think Baku's still a little bit low. I'll have to figure that out later. So tonight he's
Okay.
just going to be a little bit quiet. Maybe I'll bump myself down a little bit just to make sure that we're on the same level.
Can you bump me up in Discord, you think?
No, it's actually not going through Discord today. I'm doing it through
Oh.
video.ninja instead. So
Oh.
maybe we'll have fixed a little bit of our audio issues that we had earlier. So
Uh-huh.
maybe, but at the cost of Baku maybe being a little bit quieter. I don't know. So hopefully it's not
Hmm.
too much of a disparity there. But
Is it like super quiet? I mean, I can turn myself up a little bit. How's that? Am
that
I louder for you?
that looks fine to me.
Okay. Well, you guys let me know if that was loud enough. Yeah. I just added a little bunch of gain.
Okay. Anyways, hey everybody, sorry for
Oh,
the
that helped.
this
It's
is
good now. Okay. Great.
the most professional podcast on all of YouTube. As you can probably tell, Baku and I are slightly out of practice. Normally, we
Ever since.
stream every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Pacific time. No, not Pacific, Eastern time. Yeah, Eastern time.
Yes. Eastern time. 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
Yeah. Well, we're going to
Yes.
talk about rumors. We're going to talk about, well, everything really. Some industry news.
Everything.
We'll preview some trailers. My God, do we have some trailers this week?
Oh boy, we
Ah.
have trailers. We have a lot of trailers. We have a lot of good things to go. Okay.
All
So,
right.
you know what ended up happening, Derek, is that there were a whole bunch of games that were announced
Yeah.
right before, but they were
Hmm.
all like for Japan only. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it until they're ready for Westward, release. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, this past week, just a whole bunch of them, I'm like, oh, by the way, they're
Just
ready for Westward release. So
the
now
fire
we can talk
hose.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was no point for me to talk about it when most of our audience, I'm sure some of you guys play like import. You just get it from Japan. You can read the moon runes, as Derek like to call them, but most of us don't. And we wait for the translation, we wait for the international release, and a whole bunch of them just got released. So look forward to that.
Oh, man. Baku, by
Yeah,
the way, what were we doing last week? Because we didn't stream last week.
we didn't do anything last week.
That's right. We sure didn't.
I was in New York,
You were in New York.
and yeah, I
Hmm.
was in New York, and I was at the Joe Hisaishi Ghibli Studio concert, and I think I didn't know it was possible for a whole room of people to simultaneously cry to classical music because
Oh,
they were just it was an emotional experience. It was just like what happened. It was like nostalgia plus like you know how like sometimes you listen to like really good music, you just get that goosebump
oh
and then
yeah.
like you're just tearing up. It's that plus the nostalgia plus the fact that a legend is playing live in front of you and he's like in his 70s and he's probably never gonna come back again. And the moment that all that hits you at once is like it was just the most phenomenal thing I've seen ever. Yes, I've been to Distant World. I've seen a Final Fantasy concert, but this is like next level stuff. So wow,
Oh, that's awesome to hear,
yeah.
man. So that's why we weren't streaming the Hit Point podcast last week. Baku was a little bit further away from his microphone than usual. Um,
That's a little bit.
and I didn't really want to carry the show on my own, just because it wouldn't feel right to do the show without Baku, and I don't think he'd want to do the
Not that
show
he
without me.
couldn't. Not that he couldn't do it.
I mean, you did. I think you had the docket pretty much ready to go.
There was no docket last week. He lied to you. No, actually, you know what's funny is that there weren't a whole lot of news last week. I mean, look, you guys can check the news last week. It was like,
It was pretty minimal.
yeah, it was extremely minimal. There were like two games that I would have talked about, and basically no news.
Yeah,
It was crazy, and it actually worked out really well for us.
that's true. Now,
Yeah.
if you showed up here on Sunday expecting us, I apologize, but I think we put out a line on Twitter just letting everybody know, and that's generally going to be where I send out the notifications of delays and stuff. So if you're not following Baku or I on Twitter, you might want to do so because unfortunately through YouTube, there's not really a reliable way to send out a message or notification to everybody.
Mhm.
So Twitter is basically just kind of where I go because that's just what I have access to because I'm not putting it on Facebook or anywhere else
Yep.
because, yeah, it's just not where I am. But
Yep.
anyways, so with all of that out of the way, Baku, what have you? I guess what have you been up to lately? Have you? I want to get caught up. This is the first time I talked to you in like a couple weeks. How's your YouTube channel going?
Not so good because not because people weren't supportive, but I just haven't had time to make any videos whatsoever.
Yeah.
Between going on a trip to just starting this new job, which I just started today. Today is my first day. I still
Congratulations on the
have.
new job.
Thank you, thank
That's
you. Yeah, I still have a
awesome.
whole bunch of documents that I need to look through and fill and sign. So yeah, I'm not even gonna stream today because I'm just gonna do this for you all, and then I'm gonna go off and like read a bunch of documents.
Okay.
That's yeah, that's gonna be my day.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we'll be doing more videos. I'm gonna be finishing up Persona 4 Golden finally. I know you guys been hearing me talking about playing this thing for like 2 months.
Mhm.
It's just it's not that only the game is long, but also I just haven't been streaming at all. So speaking of not streaming, Derek, what have you been doing?
All right. So I also have not been streaming, but I
Mm.
did throw out an impressions video for Blossom Tales 2, which is a pretty interesting Zelda-like, which I would recommend you check out if you're into like the 2D Zeldas. It's a nice little indie RPG, and yeah, yeah, maybe check out my video on it. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
maybe.
It's worth checking out.
Mm.
I have another one that I'm hoping to put out this week if all goes well. I can't talk about it yet because it's under NDA as of right now, you know, under
Mm.
embargo, but who knows? It could be any game.
So
I
secretive.
will cop to something though, and that's that last night when I was planning on streaming, um there was an issue where yesterday morning was my birthday party with
Oh.
my Amy's grandfather and her side of the family and stuff, and then when we got home I'm like I'm going to play some more of this whatever this game is. um
Yeah.
and then, you know, fast forward a while later and I look up and it's after 7 o'clock. I have missed messages from Baku and I realize that it's Sunday and I completely that was my bad. I got so caught up in a game for the first time in a long time. Uh yeah, that I completely hosed the show and I'm sorry about that guys. That is on me that time. That's definitely on me. So
That's
I
fine.
apologize to Baku cuz I feel like he was looking for me and I was just MIA. That's my B.
Frantically for like a whole hour.
I'm
Actually,
sorry.
more than an hour, because I usually okay, you guys don't know this, but I usually would message like Derek right around 5 p.m. the day of and be like, okay, the doc is done, go do your thumbnail, right? And
Mhm.
then he usually respond within like 10, 15 minutes max.
I
And it
know.
was like half an hour. I'm like, okay. Maybe he's busy. I don't know. Maybe he's busy. And then I was like, "Hey, so we're still meeting up around like half an hour before to do our sound check or what have you." And
Mhm.
then no response. I'm like, "Okay, Did he
Yeah.
like get run over or something? Did he get into like an accident? Like, it's not like him to not respond at all. But no, this man was playing some game and he was just like
Some
super. Yeah.
indeterminate game. Nobody, the world may never know what game I was playing that I got so wrapped up in that for the first time ever, lost track of time as an adult. Anyways, you can keep an eye out for a video coming out later this week talking about that game and probably a little bit of this experience as well.
Hmm.
Anyways, that is, I think, all of the catching up that personally Baku and I have to do. So let's go ahead and
Yes.
dive into the actual news, what the people are actually here for. Baku,
Yeah.
what is today's leading headline?
Yoshi P thinks Final Fantasy is struggling. Hmm.
Oh, what? Cool. Anyways,
Read
so
all
we'll talk
about it.
about that in a little bit. But
Yes.
before we do, we have some comments to catch up with from the not last week's episode, but the week before last's episode.
Yes.
So let's kick that off.
All right, we've got a comment from Rain Time. It says, Derek's got to play like a dragon. You
Isn't
know why when he finally does.
isn't that Rhine time though? From like
Right? Oh no, sorry, Rhyme Time, not Rain Time.
yeah,
Rhyme Time,
it's
Rhyme
Rhine
Time,
time. Yeah,
Rhyme Time.
from
Yes,
from Xenoblade, right? That's
from Xenoblade.
Oh wait,
Yes,
did you play in English or did you play in Japanese
I
when you
played in Japanese. That's
Okay, so
right.
that's why it probably didn't ring any bells. Cause
No, not at all.
because Ryan, the English VA, had that played constantly. Whenever it was like
Oh
he was
yeah.
gonna do a special, he's like, "It's Ryan time." And anyways, so yeah.
Every time, and I kept having people tell me, "Oh, you're missing out," and I'm like, "I know, I get it, but I'm gonna miss out one way or another, so I'm going to play the thing that most people don't play, right?" Like, I know a lot of people play it in English, I get how amazing it is. I've seen it played through other people's channels, so I get that. But no, my thing is I'll play in Japanese because I like the original script,
Oh,
or at
sure.
least I like to hear the
How
original
dare you
script.
play in the
Yeah, how
original
dare you
Japanese?
play? How dare anyone play in any other language? God.
So so yes, I should play like a dragon. I mean, it looks like it's right up my alley. I'm just I'm staring at my backlog right over here. I moved my camera. I don't know if was this your last episode? I don't think it was. I'm completely switched around, so now I can actually see
Yeah.
my backlog staring at me in the face.
Oh no,
Like a dragon's in there. I know it. I'll get
it's
to
in
it at
there.
some point. So we got another one from
It's
Tom
good.
R here who says, "Oh my god, I was shocked by that Krungbin shout out. I was literally at their concert in Toronto last Tuesday. They were amazing.
Hey.
Your taste in music is as good as your taste in RPGs." I know.
Well, well, well. High praises.
Oh
High
man.
praises.
Well,
This
thank you so
guy.
much, Tom. So yeah, that band for anybody who isn't familiar is like the way that they were described to me for the first time was by the record lady store, I'm sorry, the record store owner lady. She described them to me as if Quentin Tarantino had like put out a movie and this was the soundtrack, but that movie doesn't exist, but this is the soundtrack to it. And I was like, that tracks. It's funky and it's like disco-y and sort of like
Hmm.
desert bluesy. It's so cool. So yeah, check them out if you guys get a chance. Krungbin,
Krungbin.
Kruangbin. Yep,
Krungbin. You might want to type that out to people.
I'll throw it in chat. Sure.
I cannot. I just okay. Well, while you do that, we've got a comment from Demographic Graphics. Hello. Kind of long, but bear with me. Great discussion and news rundown as always. A thought occurred to me when you were talking about the Tactics Ogre Reborn trailer, specifically with regards to how the voice lines were presented. I generally find the out of context dramatic lines and many JRPG trailers to sound a little off, but at the same time, I understand why they want to present the voice acting somehow. I think there must be a better way to do it. I don't know what that would be. Do you guys have any thoughts on how to put together JRPG trailers in ways that better present the voice acting in the game? Okay, all of that really just to get to that last bit. So Derek,
Yeah.
I don't know. What was like maybe a more recent like trailer that you've seen that just really like capture your attention that made you go like, wow, this is it. I really need this in my life.
You know,
Preferably with voice acting.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, the last trailers that I've seen have like that have really struck a chord with me
Hmm.
haven't had any voice acting, like Japanese or
That's fair.
otherwise. A lot of
Hmm.
those indie RPGs just don't have it, and that's fine.
That's fair.
Uh,
Yeah.
but if I wanted to showcase the voice acting of an RPG, if I were in charge of the trailer, for instance,
Hmm.
um, you know, if I were doing my own edit, I would probably start with like the very opening sequence of the game where maybe the protagonist is talking, you know, like
Mm.
because then it's not even a spoiler, right? And you can kind of hear them
Hmm.
like these were the lines that were designed to be the introduction to the character themselves.
Yeah.
And maybe you could skip ahead and like play a voice from another character like as they introduce themselves or something, you know,
Hmm.
and maybe a clip from like the middle of like a combat where they're like shouting out attack names or something. I don't know exactly how I do
Mm.
it, but something that doesn't give too much context to be spoilery. But the other option would be to have the voice actors involved, maybe like do something extra just for the trailer where they like, you know, like if it was going to be like Lloyd Bannings from Trails from Zero, or yeah,
Hmm.
Trails from Zero. He's like, my name's Lloyd Bannings and I want to be a detective like my older brother, you know, or something like that. Like something kind of that introduces the character to, you know, to the player or to the viewer, you know,
Hmm.
and kind of gives them a semblance of like, oh yeah, so it has this kind of voice acting and it's not like really weird out of context, like super dramatic overacting sounding stuff, right? Like, I don't
Oh
know.
my god. You know what's funny that you mentioned that because and I didn't put this in the news, but we can talk a little bit about it because I don't know if this is like really newsworthy or not, but recently Square Enix just
Okay.
released this like a very quippy trailer for
Mhm.
Forspoken,
Oh
and
my
people's
god, yeah.
reactions were not right. So when you're saying like
I remember
recording
seeing the
extra
trailer.
line,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So let me read this. I guess in a way that I think is supposed to be read. So let me get this straight. I'm somewhere that's not where I would call Earth. I'm seeing freaking dragons. Oh, and oh yeah, I'm talking to a cup. Yeah, okay, that's something I do now. I do magic, kill jacked up beasts. I will probably fly next. Yeah, that those are the extra lines that were those the extra lines you were referring to?
Oh my gosh. I would
Yeah,
probably
it
do
was
things a
bad.
little
It
bit
was bad.
differently.
It was bad.
It was a really rough and I feel like part of the problem with that is that it's like they're trying to portray with that specifically, they were trying to portray somebody who's very like above it all, kind of like trying to be I
Mm.
was it was somebody referred to it as being like Whedon-esque, you know, trying to be like kind of
Right?
Joss Whedon
Joss Whedon,
kind
yeah.
of writing. And it's like
Yes.
very irreverent, which is like, okay, sure, it works in like a Marvel movie or something, but like
Mhm,
this
yeah.
is in a fantasy setting, JRPG action, like adventure RPG, like the whole issue is like if the character in the game doesn't have any sort of like sense of awe or wonder or whatever as they're like experiencing the world, like if
Mhm.
they're not like surprised by this, then it just makes the player feel less like there's any sense of awe or wonder or discovery. Like that's that they are your vessel through which you experience the game, right? So if the player is just like, "Oh my god, where am I? I guess I'm in a fantasy setting. Time to kill a dragon, I guess, because that's what I do." Like it's the problem isn't like the voice acting or even the attitude. It's just like
Mhm.
it's just counterproductive in what RPGs aim to instill in the player, I think.
Yeah. You know, I don't know who Wheaton Joss is. Okay, like for anyone who does not know, I'm not like big in pop culture, but what I do hear in this like trailer, this like voice, I just hear like an oldie, like something very like I don't know, something very like amateur, something very not amateur, but like juvenile. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Something about this
Juvenile
makes
and
me not
irreverent and
yeah, I can't take this
jaded.
seriously. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. I'm sitting in my basement Okay, I'm seeing Mr. Derek. I'm talking about JRPG. Yeah, okay, that's something I do now. I do podcasts. What? I will probably make YouTube videos next. I don't know.
Oh man, I
Yeah,
don't.
maybe.
I wouldn't count on that. But no, I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of what I would do is try to use out of like things that don't provide too much context, but maybe like a little like a demo reel almost of the voice acting involved. I think that's probably what I would do to try to
Mm,
show him like, yeah, that's enough to get him interested and kind of invested in some of the character, but not like
yeah. Because like the thing is, so we're talking about the Tactics Ogre trailer, and my complaint was it was just shouting lines, just
yeah,
random freaking lines, no context
from like
whatsoever.
a traumatic or like
Yeah.
climactic
Oh,
moment of the game, right? It's
right. And
there's no
it's
ramp up.
like, yeah, I don't know what this is about. Why do I care? I think that's the biggest question whenever you do any kind of media, book, game, video, you name it, just anything that anyone consumes is why do I care? And
Hmm.
I don't, and I've played this game. I love this game, and I still don't know why I would care about these lines being shouted at me. It's like, please stop yelling.
I know.
Like I
Yeah,
so
let
yeah, so to answer graphics question, yeah, just like maybe give people reasons to care. I think that would be my go-to for picking lines.
mhm. All
Yeah.
right. Well, we
Okay.
have a voicemail. We actually have 3, but I'm and I
We had
and
three.
but we're not playing all 3 today. I'm gonna
Okay.
pace ourselves, okay?
Oh,
So
okay.
if you would
Wait.
like to have your voicemail played on the air, you can do so on the air, on the internet. You can do so by leaving us a voicemail at 785-337-3805, but this is the one we have today.
All
Hi,
right.
Super Derek and Baku-san. I wanted to tell Super Derek about a cool album called Living in Darkness by Indoor Creature, as well as tell you that I finished off Chrono Cross and Radical Dreamers, and I'm planning on moving on to a cool horror RPG that's coming out on the 16th called Frail Hearts vs. Corey Domley. And if I had to ask a question, it would be, who is your favorite character in Chrono Cross character-wise? Who's your favorite party member character-wise, uh, excluding Harley, Kid, and or Fargo?
Okay.
Goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye.
So, uh let's see. Favorite characters in Chrono Cross, including and excluding playable characters, was that? Okay.
What was his name again, by the way? I didn't, I think I missed it.
I think I might have missed it too. Let me double check. In the meantime, you can go ahead and play. Who is your favorite character?
What, from Chrono Cross? You asking me about Chrono Cross?
Uh
What?
huh. Uh huh.
Favorite character?
It's one of Baku's favorite games.
Oh
It's
yeah, that's
actually not one of Baku's favorite games. I won't make you pick a favorite character, I suppose. I mean, it's so easy to go with like to go with like Guile or somebody who's like supposed to be sort of like a nod to Megas. Started out as Megas, like that. He was okay, but
Oh, God,
but
that hurts. It hurts so much.
I
Just
know.
hearing you describe him hurts me. It's supposed to be, but like not really. But it's alluding to it, but not really. It's like
Yeah. So
that's my problem
instead,
with the game.
so instead, I think I
Mhm,
gotta go with Glenn, who is super cool character. He
mhm,
has, the all of the makings of like a possible like main protagonist for the game,
mhm,
but is it's unfortunate that he's so hard to get unless you're like following a guide because you have to make some counterintuitive
mm,
decisions to get him. But
mhm.
he does feel like a super well developed character, and he's got some really cool weapons at toward the end game. Makes
Who is
him
this again? Glenn?
Glenn. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
Oh yeah, I totally didn't get him.
Oh, you didn't?
I know for a fact that, I mean, look, first of all, I was playing in Japanese, like import,
Oh
like
yeah,
straight from Japan when it came out. Okay, and so it's not even my first language already, and all these choices are counterintuitive. Yeah, definitely did not get them. No way. I played without a guide. There was no guide back then, so
you ended up getting the kid with the fishing pole and
probably,
and
which
the
made me hate the
mhm.
game that much more. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, like, please, kids, stay home, please. Like, I want all their kids from JRPG to stay home. Like, Hope, stay home.
Ah.
Ken from P3, stay home. Fishing pole kit, stay home. Okay, please. Just do not come along.
Oh man. So anyways, yeah, I think that yeah, I think Glenn was my favorite character. And besides him, I thought Radius was also really cool. Uh
Hmm.
who's the older man who has a cane that he uses kind of like a he has these special attacks that are kind of like old samurai flicks where he like attacks with it and then like as he puts the cane away like he sheathes it in his like belt buckle or whatever and then as he does so
Mm.
the enemy behind him like collapses. It's like yeah,
Oh,
it's super
like
cool.
old samurai flicks, man. Those are
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like an old retired samurai. Like that is his that is his trope and I love it. So,
Can I pick a character anyway?
oh yeah,
I'm
sure.
gonna pick a character anyway. Okay,
Okay.
despite my displeasure, to
Okay.
say the least. I'm gonna pick Kid because I have such high hope for Kid.
Kid
It
is awesome. She was actually my very first uh video game crush. When I was like 14, I was playing Chrono Cross for the first time and she looked about like 15, 16. I was like she's super
really
cute.
not Renoa. Renoa wasn't your first. Renoa's everybody's first crush. Excuse me, what?
Renoa? What game was she
Renoa,
in?
yeah, Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, I never played that.
What?
Yeah.
I wow. Wow. I would really like to hear what you think about Final Fantasy VIII.
I mean, I could give it a go at some point, but I have to go through the rest of
Yeah,
my backlog.
stare at your backlog again.
Yeah,
Sorry, what?
yeah, yeah.
No, I
I'll get
just
there.
think, yeah, I just think Kid, and I'm gonna say it the most non-spoilery possible. I just feel like she was like shafted, and it's just
Cause she
play the game,
was she
and you'll
Squall's love
see it.
interest.
Well, not because wait, hold on, what? No, I'm talking about Kid,
Oh,
not
okay,
Renoa.
okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay,
Yeah, no, Kid was just kind of shafted by the game, and I feel for her in more ways than 50. So
hmm
maybe that's the reason why I'm picking her. I mean, I like her as a character. She's spunky, I kind of like that.
hmm
It kind of works with the story again. No spoilers. But if you knew the story, it's kind of like, huh, okay, that's interesting. Why she behaves that way.
yeah,
So I thought it was good. Like she's one of the better written character. And I just wish that she had a better outcome. Let's just say that.
gotcha. All
Okay.
right, so if you have a voicemail that you want to leave us and we'll talk about it, you can do so on 785-337-3805 if you have any burning questions. Though I will also say that you can also leave us a super chat and we'll also be responding to those toward the end of the show.
Mhm.
And yeah, we'll respond to all of those. So if you have burning questions that cannot wait for a voicemail to be played, you can throw those into the chat. So that for real is all the catching up that we need to do before we dive into some news.
Yay! Let's get into it with some delays because everyone likes delays. There you go. You play Nesta. All right, let's start.
Delays.
Let's start with delays. River City Girls 2. I know it hurts. Wayfarer announced in a tweet that a highly anticipated beat 'em up game, River City Girls 2, will be delayed to some unknown dates. River City Girls 2 was previously announced to be released summer 2022, which is like now.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna
yeah,
say, kind of
yeah.
late to the delay. It's kind of like me saying today. It's kind of like me saying today, guys, we're not gonna have a show yesterday.
Hmm.
Kind of closing the barn doors after the cows have already escaped, right?
Derek,
So,
I didn't know that you work for WayForward. Wow. So that's what you were doing yesterday.
how did you know?
Sending out that tweet like really late. Yeah, unfortunately there's no new release date or really any reason behind it other than they just want to make it a really good game. And you know what? Our stance is always take your time, make a good game, come out when you're ready. Just don't cancel it, please. Just when they cancel a game, it just hurts me a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of development hours. There's a lot of depth. A lot they put their heart and soul into it, and it just gets delayed. I mean, it just gets canceled. Like it kind
Mhm.
of hurts. It kind of hurts
Yeah.
when I think about it. But yeah, hopefully it will be a great game. The first game had amazing reviews, so we're looking forward to the second one.
That's right. And
All right.
also, speaking of other delays, we have Metal Slug Tactics, which, believe it or not, has been delayed.
All
Publisher
right, delayed.
Inu have announced that the
Mhm.
Metal Slug Tactics games will be delayed to 2023. No reasons were cited other than the team just needing more time to make it as explosive as possible upon release. And I
There
think
you
that
go.
totally makes sense. They don't
Yeah.
need to apologize. Yeah, that's fine. Not even like I was waiting on them or anything.
Yeah, we have so many games to play. Please take your
I
time.
know,
I no,
seriously.
seriously, just take your time. We have a lot of games. We're fine. All right. Well, moving away from delays, moving away from the bad news, let's talk about things that has already been released, but we're getting some little updates here and there. Let's talk about Little Noah's Sound of Paradise. That is a 2D platform game that's been released by Cygame. The game will be getting 2 DLC as part of the Princess Connect Redive collaboration. The first DLC is available right now with new Lilliputs, which are like these little avatar things that you can take with you to do like different attacks and also different accessories. And the second DLC will actually be available in September. It is a nice little game, and I'm actually super excited to play it at some point. And I don't even like roguelike platformer, but it just looks like a really good game. It's got great reviews, so if that's your thing, maybe look into that. It's like $15 too. It's not even like like a fully priced game. So check it out.
All right. And then we have
Yeah.
another update here to a game called I believe this is pronounced maybe Edo.
Yeah,
Uh
it's Edo. Yeah.
yeah, it's ED-00 Zombie Uprising,
Hmm.
but it's probably Edo as in like Japan. So
Yeah, the
anyways,
Edo period. Yeah.
yeah, the
Hmm.
action roguelike from D3 Publisher is still in early access, and players will now be able to play as a new ninja character named Matoka, who plays as plays as an assassin and can unleash devastating ninjutsu. So,
Perfect pronunciation there, sir.
what? Matoka, Motoka?
No, ninjutsu.
Oh, ninjutsu. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Claps. All right. Yeah. I think we talked about this game at some point. It's this what is it? What's the word? It doesn't look very polished, right? It looks kind of like a PS2 game almost, but I think that's like the charm to it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like every time the map's a little different, and it plays kind of like, do you remember Tenchu?
Oh yeah, Tenchu Stealth
It
Assassins on PS1. That was
Yes.
I
It looks a
remember.
lot like that.
I
Yeah.
think we talked about it once upon a time, and we had a little discussion about my experience, especially how he was so terrible at swimming.
Mhm.
Tenchu Stealth Assassins. He's just like he's a very stealthy ninja, but as soon as he hits like a puddle, he's like splashing around like he's drowning. uh,
I know all these ninjas do, but I cannot swim. Didn't learn how to swim in ninja school. No.
exactly. Oh man.
Yeah. Okay. So those are all the updates to previous games. Now let's talk about upcoming releases. Now, we missed that 1 week of shows, so some of these games are not exactly upcoming releases, but things that have already been released, but we want to talk about anyway. Specifically, this one. This game is called Before the Night, and it's developed and published by a studio called Uneducated Game Studio. And it's this adorable horror action adventure game, which is things that I love. If you guys didn't know that already, somehow slipped my radar, and I just want to make sure all of you guys know about it. In this game, you play as a little girl named Lisa, who's trapped in a world where animals keep humans as pets and
Mhm.
food stocks. Let's take a look at the trailer. You'll see
Okay.
why I'm like, whoa, how did I not hear about this?
Uh-huh.
It's extremely trippy.
The music is already extremely trippy. Oh, I'm not sure if they can hear it. Here, let me fix that. Oh, oh, jeez. Oh no.
Mm, mm, mm.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yep, that's
How did this skip me? I don't know why.
oh, there's more to this trailer. Okay.
Yeah, so this game actually came out in July, which was like a month ago. But better late than never.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this to your attention. So again, this is kind of a 2D horror action adventure game, very similar to like Yomawari, right? That
Uh-huh.
sort of feel. So if you guys are looking for a good horror game, I do believe this is from a Korean developer too, just like self-publishing it. It's a relatively short game, not full price. It's on Steam only. So if you're interested, check it out. I'm definitely gonna be streaming this comes like October time. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
super interesting looking. Very has that very dissonant theme
Yeah.
going on, and dissonant music tied to it, of course, as well.
Yeah,
No,
the story seems really intriguing, and the
yeah.
art looks amazing. We didn't see any like actual gameplay art, but I promise you, check that out. The game art looks phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
All
also
right.
have another game here coming. Oh, go ahead.
So this next game is actually the one that it's crazy that you
I know.
picked this, right? Okay, go ahead. I'll let you take it
Yeah.
away.
So yeah, the person who left the voicemail said that they were starting to play some Frail Hearts, and that's what
Mhm.
we're going to be talking about this time. So this is from an Italian developer, Sages, Sages. I don't know how you.
Hey, thank you for picking this one because I have no idea how to pronounce that either.
It's probably sounds Italian. Anyways,
Yeah,
so the publisher, Rev, Raven
Ravenage,
Ravenage,
Ravenage.
Ravenage,
Yes.
probably.
Mhm.
Ravenage Games comes the story-rich indie JRPG called Frail Hearts. Vers Versticore Dominion.
Thank you for picking this one out because I can't pronounce this either.
That's okay. I'll just destroy it anyway and
Mm-hmm.
own it. So players will experience this as a turn-based and RPG that is reminiscent of the old Dragon Quest series.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Yeah.
have a trailer for this one as well. So let's check Frail Hearts out as well. Now this
Frail
sounds super
Hearts. Yes.
familiar. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of this, but I don't know if I've seen it.
Well, time to look at it. Got this epic music. I love it. Love the music. Love the art.
Yeah. Gotta love the
Of course, you get that art. You get that tarot cards in there.
uh-huh. I was gonna say the black and white. Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the black and white, the demons and stuff that you're fighting look pretty cool.
There you go. That's the kind of combat, like
Yeah.
you know. So that's why the combat is kind of similar to the DQ sort of combat.
Yeah, and you play as 4 different individuals here. So you got a
Yeah.
gangster, a nun, a bookworm, and a scholar.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that the bookworm is probably more of like a fantasy bookworm and not like a, because I feel like a scholar is
Not
kind of like
an
a different
actual
kind
worm.
of not an
Yeah,
actual
there you go.
worm. 0 out of 10, unplayable.
Actually,
No.
looks like there's maybe even 5 characters. But yeah.
Oh. So you can look forward to
Yeah.
seeing that on the 16th of last week, which was released on PC only via Steam. So
That's right. Yeah. Speaking of Italian like horror, didn't we cover this one other game that like
we
sort of took
did.
roots from? Yeah, it's not exactly the same, but it has that similar kind of vibe.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't know how to put my finger on it, but it's got that similar vibe. So hey, if you into that, I think that could be a good game. It's also got this a little bit like Mother, doesn't it? Like a little Earthboundy.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, definitely has those like Dragon Questy inspirations, which
Dragon Questy, yeah.
and Earthbound was straight up just a Dragon Quest like clone. Let's be real, it was. As like mechanically.
Let's
So
call spade a spade, yeah.
mhm, yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's definitely got those vibes. So hey, I think it's definitely good for like one of those retro gamers that don't want to play a retro game, but something new and unique. I think it's got a lot of great new ideas in it. So check it out. All right. So we've got another game that it came out already, but we're gonna talk about it just to remind everyone. And the game is called Thymesia. It is a 3D Souls-like game that is already available now, as of 8/18 on PS5, Xbox Series XS, Switch, and PC via Steam. And was it Good Old Gaming?
Yep, good old
GOG? Yep.
games.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So, check that out. It's got a pretty good review from what I've seen from folks who are into the Souls S games. So, hey, if you like the Souls games, check that out.
Okay. So moving along, let's see. We had another one that was released, Toho 18.5. That's a lot of Toho games, huh?
Oh yeah,
Black Market of Bulletphilia, 100th Black Market, in celebration of Kamiket 100. Zune, the creator of Toho, released Toho 18.5 Black Market of Bulletphilia, 100th Black Market. Ugh,
what a title!
what a
What a
title.
title! Yeah.
So, yeah, that released on the 14th of this month on PC via Steam, and it is currently in Japanese only. But Baku here suspects that a fan translation patch will probably come along pretty soon.
Because they always do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's Toho.
Translating a Toho game is not hard. And there are a lot of fans. All right. Next we got Fallen Legion, Rise to Glory, and Revenant's Double Pack. This is actually speaking in future turns now, as tomorrow, 8/23, will be released on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. So this is I believe it is a turn-based it's kind of tactical-ish RPG that requires you to time your buttons to block correctly. It looks like a really cool actually no, I wouldn't say tactical, it's more like a Valkyrie profile kind of game.
Okay.
But they've added some tweaks to it. It looks really interesting. It's a game that I've been meaning to play. Now it's the double pack. It has the first game, which is Rise to Glory, and also the second game, Revenants, in the same disc. So you're getting two games in one. So check that out tomorrow.
Sweet. On the 25th, we have SD Gundam Battle Alliance. So if you're on the fence about this game, the demo of this action RPG is out right now. For those who might be interested. Now, for clarification, that is SD Gundam that is super deformed. It does not mean that it is standard definition. This is a high definition game. It's coming out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
It is a mouthful, but yeah, I still, I watched that trailer and I still fail to see how this is an RPG, but we'll see. I mean, they keep touting it as an action RPG, so it's like, okay, well,
that's
play
what they
the
want.
demo and find out. Yeah, let's see if it really is an RPG.
It's not like they're
feel like
it's the weirdest thing. It's not like they're getting any clout by calling it an RPG. Like we're making a game that is very niche. Like that's not a thing. Like I don't know. I guess RPGs are kind of gaining popularity lately. So
it's very strange, very strange. But hey, all the Gundam fans, check it out. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. Okay, next we've got this little gem called Soul Hackers 2. Please hype responsibly. But
Yeah.
the new SMT game is finally here, and we're gonna look at the combat trailer so we can see what fighting in this game is like.
I wonder. Um,
Yeah.
oh geez, I don't have this in the because it's not a link. It wasn't a link
Is
there in the docket, so I missed it. So hang on a
oh
second,
no.
stall real quick while I throw this.
So Mr. Invalid is here. He says never will I hype responsibly.
Cool.
Hype responsibly.
Explore a brand new supernatural RPG in Soul Hackers 2, where stylish devil summoners and dark dangers lurk.
Is that
beneath the
an
neon
official trailer?
lights of a futuristic
It is.
Japan.
Okay.
It is up to the agents of Ion to decrypt destiny and save.
This
the
is from
world.
the Atlas website. I mean Atlas
Welcome,
YouTube channel.
Agents of Ion.
Okay.
Today,
Yeah.
we'll discuss the
I try to
particulars of devil
find
summoning and combat.
official trailers whenever
Devil
possible.
summoners are humans
Okay,
with
'cause it
forged
sounded kinda like-
contracts with demons
It kind of sounded like
that can be
some
summoned
random guy
at
just
will.
talking about soul hackers.
Demons can be assigned to each of Ringo's teammates, and they will then have access to that demon's abilities in
You know, I'm
battle.
only laughing because I thought the same thing when I
Identify
first
and
saw it.
exploit enemy
I
Okay.
was like, who are
weaknesses to
they
gain stats.
hiring to do this?
At the end of the party's turn,
I mean, I'm
they
not
will
casting
use
shade or
those
anything,
stacks to conduct
but,
No,
a
no, I'm
a
100%
brutal
casting
attack that affects
shade.
all enemies on the field.
Okay, that's fair.
As Ringo's connections with her allies deepen, she will gain access
This
to
looks
commander
so
skills,
good.
powers of iron.
I wanted to
Ringo
look.
can
I
use
wanted
in
to
battle
like. I didn't
without
look at the whole thing. I only
making
saw like the first like
There are
bits.
also
It's like
passive
okay,
commander skills.
this is pretty cool.
automatically triggered
Yeah,
during
it's
battle.
definitely looking pretty interesting.
Special materials are used
Wow.
to unlock commander skills at CompSmith, but they're worth it. It's a good idea to upgrade whenever you have the materials. As a demon's level increases, they will learn
Even
new
demons
abilities,
animation looks
and
really
once they've reached
nice.
their full potential,
Oh yeah,
may even
they look
share
a lot like the
mysterious
models
abilities.
from SMT
Quick
5,
missions to give
but
useful
higher
stat boosts to
scale,
Ringo
like
and her
more
heroes.
detail on them. Because
See, maybe
While
that's
mean-
the problem.
demons and
I mean, the
mystics that
Switch
shoot each other
couldn't really
can
handle as many polygons, right? So I mean, I think that
Right.
they were the
also
same
be optimized
source
in
models.
CompSmith.
I mean,
Mhm.
also there's a
Are
different
getting
rendering
new
engine in
attributes
use that
for
gives them that,
affinity.
Yeah.
that style.
But
It's
Um,
save
nice.
that
Yeah,
for another day.
Yeah, they look really nice in the trailer there.
Wow, that looks really stylish. I am going to be hyping responsibly, but wow,
Yeah.
that looks a lot better than. I mean, I already thought that was gonna look great from like. I think I've only seen like the first two trailers, and
Yeah.
I've like not been looking at any trailers since
Mhm.
until now. And
Yeah, me
wow,
neither.
that looks phenomenal. Yeah, I didn't want to bring up any trailers that might contain any level of spoilers, so I figured, you know what, combat trailer,
Yeah, that should be pretty safe.
yeah, that's pretty safe. Just looking at how things, and you know what, from my perspective, I like seeing how the battle carries out because that's pretty important to me. I wonder though, because look, I've recently been playing P4, and it's just a lot more. I don't want to say slice, a lot of like living as a teenager and hanging out with your friends than like actual combat. I think so. I wonder how many percent of combat like it's going to happen in this game, or is it going to be a lot more like life happening things? Like, because I've never
Mhm.
played, Soul Hackers, so I have no reference
Yeah.
whatsoever. But hey, if you guys tell me, oh yeah, by the way, this is like way more combat than Persona, then I welcome it because I actually do like the combat a lot. Um,
Well, for reference,
yeah.
I mean, this is not a Persona not a spinoff. It is more of a spinoff of SMT, which
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really have any of that sort of visual novel side of things in SMT. So,
Mm.
you might not expect if that's something that you really love about, the Persona series, then that might be something that you miss. I don't know. We'll have
Hmm.
to find out if how just what the balance is actually.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see. So the game is coming out on the 26th, released on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and the PC. No Switch. You see that, Mr. Invalid?
Oh.
Like, he's just hating on the Switch right now. He's such a Switch hater. Anyways, DLC will is already announced. It's got some booster items, six different outfit packs, including I believe P4 and P5 school outfits. 8 exclusive demons, Mara included, which a lot of fans are not too happy about this. They're like, Mara is locked behind a paywall. What?
Oh,
Yeah, no, I know, I know, I know, I know.
I
Of
wonder
all
if it's like
things.
a dollar paywall just to like, because that's the other thing. That's the other thing is like this is, I mean, the Mara demon. Don't look it up if you don't already know what it is, but it's, it's a very strong demon, both visually striking and very polarizing.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
uh,
it's locked behind a paywall because they want to be a Mara about it.
yeah, exactly. They probably just want to make sure that people uh don't see it when they're not expecting it because it'll probably bring them unnecessary flack. Maybe um, if they do, who knows? Who knows? Maybe not.
Mm,
I
mm.
who can say?
There's
So
also a DLC story called The Lost Numbers. So
okay,
yet more content that I'm pretty sure people are not going to be happy about. Day one DLC with extra content are things that people hate. So Atlas, I don't know why you did this so early, but okay.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
All right. So, along with that, I do want to bring up for anyone who might care, this is kind of a related story, but Atlas also released a streaming guideline
Now this is
for,
interesting to me.
yeah, for Soul Hackers 2. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you guys remember the Persona 5 streaming guideline, which was
And
like
and
extremely restrictive, right?
SMT5 as
And
well.
SMT5 as well. But you may be relieved to hear that the guideline for Soul Hackers 2 is actually not too bad, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they're like, well, they'll ask you to cite some stuff and just like maybe put like a spoiler tag, but they're not going to go like, oh, you can't stream past certain event, like. So I think maybe Atlas is finally learning to
Okay.
not do this. I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's gonna give them bad publicity every time. Because it's like the only people that it affects are the people with audiences.
Yeah.
that's
So
that's a
I,
bad.
I think they're learning. Yes. I think they're learning. So we're going to be linking the guideline in the description when it's ready. I just think I typed that up. That's on me. So yeah, so you guys can read all about it. Yeah, I read it. It
Cool.
actually wasn't so bad. Yeah, it
I'm
wasn't
very
so
glad
bad.
to hear that because I
Yeah,
was thinking about maybe giving it a go.
me
Once
too.
once the game comes out, I was thinking like maybe because I had made promises before about diving into Golden Sun Lost Age. And maybe I should play
Mm-hmm.
that first just to give people time to play through it if they're concerned about spoilers or something. But maybe that I don't know, maybe that'll be my return to Twitch soon. Because
Hmm.
I really would like to get back to streaming on Twitch again here soon. Um,
Yes, everyone misses you, by the way.
that
Eh,
hiatus has
People
been
come to
unexpected
my
and
stream
really.
asking where Derek is. And I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to know where a grown person is? Like, can you ask him on like Twitter? Like he has a Twitter. They're like, yeah, have you seen Derek? I'm like, yes, as much as
Every
you have.
week.
Every week.
Oh
What do
man.
you mean? Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I
Yeah.
just had a lot on my plate, and I was trying to get a couple of reviews finished before adding to my backlog of reviews to do.
Hmm.
So, anyways, that's my bad. Anyway, let's continue on. Uh,
Yes.
I'm really glad to hear though about the Soul Hackers 2 streaming guidelines. Now I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, read through it,
mhm.
but
Oh
it's
yeah,
going to be a lot better than the previous ones. Those were gross.
yeah. I mean, because
Hmm.
P5 was particularly egregious. Do not play beyond a specific date in game.
Oh
Wow.
boy, they were ridiculed to death over that one, and I still remember it. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
So we have a bunch of new games that were announced, starting with a combo pack here from Sunsoft. It's not actually a combo pack, but they announced a threefer. So
Hmm.
Sunsoft, everybody, is back. And according to their newest event video, the company just announced 3 new titles: Icky Unite, Gimmick, and Euphoria. So, Icky Unite is a multiplayer co-op roguelike game based on the Icky action games. This title will allow up to 16-player co-op to team up against a feudal overlord. Closed
Hmm.
beta is coming soon to PC via Steam.
Yes.
Also, we have Gimmick, with an exclamation point, and I believe that wasn't a gimmick that was on the NES back in the day.
Yes,
And it's
I
it's one
believe
of those
so.
old school
Mhm.
hard games. So
Yeah.
this is now in development for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam as well. This is a punishingly difficult platformer that will be released sometime in winter of this year. And then lastly, we have Euphoria, which is a Metroidvania style game that is slated for consoles in 2023. And we have a teaser trailer for Iki Unite as well.
Yes.
So
Just Iki Unite. Yeah.
yeah,
Take a
just
look.
Iki Unite. So we'll give that a quick
Just Iki.
gander here, if I
Yes.
can find it in my list.
It's the third one.
Oh, it's the one in all Japanese
Yeah.
letters. Okay,
Mhm.
that's why I couldn't spot it in the list. Thank
I
you.
got you. Yeah, so if you look at this game, it looks
What is
a
this?
lot like yeah, what is this indeed? And so it looks a lot like a game that was recently super popular called Vampire Survivor, right?
Okay.
Now, I think the big difference here is that you get to play with your friends. I think that's probably the most important thing is 16 people co-op. I think this is probably maybe even a little late to market. If they released this last year, I think people would be super stoked. But you know, now that people are sort of going out again, and maybe a little late to market, right?
Mhm.
The prime time was like in the midst of COVID, where no
Yeah.
one's going anywhere,
Yeah.
and we were all looking for like multiplayer games to play with a bunch of our friends. And they were just in short supply. I mean, yeah, sure, you have your Jackbox and what have you, but even those get stale. So this
Yeah.
actually looks like a really fun game to play with your friends. Fun fact: the Icky series. I don't know how true this is, but the Icky series actually gave rise to the Japanese slang kusoge, which basically means crappy game. It's just yeah, it's just
Okay.
it's so like crappy looking that
Okay.
they call
So
it
it's not just
kusoge.
me, because when you
No,
said
it's not.
okay, because
So it's part of the charm, apparently,
Okay.
to look crappy as heck.
Okay.
But
Well,
if
they
it plays
aced
well
it.
and it's fun, then you know, then that's fine.
they nailed it then. Because
Yeah,
I was waiting for you
absolutely.
to take a breath so I could say this game looks like poo. But I mean, if the gameplay is fun, then I suppose that's what matters.
Yeah, I can definitely see this as a streaming game, like, you know, just to hang out with your community. I don't imagine this costing a whole lot to get into, maybe like a couple of bucks. So yeah, definitely a game that would appeal to a lot of streamers. And if you want to play with your favorite streamers and they happen to be playing this game, hey, you know, it could be a fun time. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
looks
is
like absolute doo doo, but
it is
that's part of the charm.
it
So
is absolutely an icky looking game.
yeah, it's but I think that's the reason why they called it that. No, it's not. All right. Speaking of new games, I don't know how to segue into this. There is a new Fatal Fury title, greenlit. SNK
Ooh.
announced in EVO 2022, which, for those who don't know, is one of the most famous
Fighting tournaments.
fighting tournament, yeah, worldwide. EVO 2022. And that a new Fatal Fury game is currently in development. There is a short teaser trailer that doesn't show you a whole lot, but we're going to show it to you anyway. So let's take a look.
Alrighty.
It doesn't really show a whole lot, but you know, we have to be thorough. It's 30 seconds long.
The city of legend still breathes. Hungry
I love
wolves
this
back
old
on the
school
prowl.
music.
A new destiny hidden in darkness.
I
It's
love
the same photo
90s.
every time. They have a picture.
I
New Fatal
love
Fury. Garo. Greenlit.
I cannot find a more 90s tune. That is
That was some royalty-free stuff right there,
Mhm.
ladies and gentlemen. That's like a backing track for, like, you know, have you need a car? You don't need any money down if you come on down to old Rusty's.
It's like soft rock with some kind of jazz. Like, oh my god.
Like some synthy
Yeah.
kind of saxophone. It's like they had the. You ever listen to like Dude Looks Like a Lady, but from Aerosmith? It's like the
Yes.
da, da, da. It's like they have
Oh
like a little
my
clip
God.
of that just on loop in the background.
Yes. I
It's
mean,
very
what a
90s.
way what a way to bring that back, because you guys don't know this. The last time they did a Fatal Fury game was in fact in the 90s, 1999 to be exact.
No
So
kidding.
they haven't made a well, I mean, the characters from Fatal Fury have made appearance in another game. In fact, I think they Terry was in
Capcom.
May no, it was in no, it's a Nintendo game. Smash.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Terry was in Smash. So yeah, that's like extremely recent, relatively. But actual Fatal Fury game, 1999. Oh, Fatal Fury game, 1999,
Wasn't
which is
there also
crazy.
a gender bent game that they released somewhat recently as well for Fatal
Like
Fury?
King of Fighter, but yeah, I
Oh,
think that's
yeah, maybe
King of.
that's
I
it.
think that's King
Oh
of
yeah,
Fighter. Yeah,
yeah. I'm
yeah.
thinking of
Those
King of.
characters appear in King of Fighter, and King of Fighter have been having new games, but just an actual like not
Okay,
King of Fighter mismatch, just a Fatal Fury game. 1999, which is crazy.
gotcha.
No additional news, no platform, no time frame. That was like all we've got, but it's on our radar now, so we'll check on it.
Cool.
Next up, we got a game that Mr. Derek's gonna be super excited. I can't wait to see this trailer, man.
Yeah. Speaking of new games,
Mm-hmm.
just gonna borrow Baku's transition there. Jack Move is a cyberpunk RPG that now has a release date and a new animated trailer.
It looks good. It looks good. All
right,
it
let's-
looks so good.
Let's take a look at this. Yeah, that looks like some. I was gonna
That
say
is
kind of like some
anime.
90s anime.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a mix between like actually maybe 80s. 80s
Yeah, maybe
ish
even
anime
80s
style.
yeah. Look at those
Maybe
shoulder
more
pads,
90s.
man.
Yeah, those are some wicked. Wicked shoulder
Who
pads.
needs those?
She means business.
Did they take him? Did they find what they were
I love it.
Her dad got kidnapped and we're laughing about shoulder pads. We're terrible people.
I will
Look at that
I mean,
floppy
who-
disk.
I mean,
Oh
who
my
else
God, it's a
besides
floppy
a
disk.
lady, a powerful woman in shoulder pads can only steal her dad?
These guys have really bad aim.
Well, they're like stormtroopers. This looks like
Yeah.
a scene out of Ninja Turtles, you know? Like, that's the other thing it reminds me of, this animation style.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's like,
Huh? What happened? Keep shooting.
that's a powerful drone.
Yes. So this is more gameplay. I actually really like this. They did the animation, but they also
I
showed the
know.
gameplay.
The
Yeah.
gameplay looks so sick here in this battle.
Amazing. Gameplay looks so good.
Dude, that is so cool.
Yeah, so in Jack Move, basically the girl has the power to kind of hack into reality, and that's how she like uses these sort of moves that you see. So it's a really cool concept, and the execution looks phenomenal. I've not been this excited about an indies for a while now. I think the last time was that one that we were watching where you had to watch it twice. Remember
Yes.
that one?
Yeah,
This
I-
is the other one.
Yeah, this one was super cool. I remember we saw like a short teaser trailer of like the gameplay, I think.
Yeah.
And I was excited for it then.
Yeah.
More excited now.
And
They did
wow.
a solid job. So this game is coming out on the 8th of September for
Yes,
PC
very
via
soon.
Steam and Epic Game Store, as well as Humble. And
Yes.
on the 20th, it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, Mr. Inval is just for you.
it
Yeah,
looks
I don't
so
know why
cool.
they do two separate dates, but man,
Huh?
it's coming soon. I mean,
Well,
what?
if I
that's
had to
like-
guess, it's probably because the physical versions maybe have to ship or something. Who knows?
Yeah,
I'm assuming
it's a
it's
little-
physical. Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, it's a little bit more than 2 weeks. So, hey, Derek, I don't know. Are you sure? Soul Hacker 2 is the game you're gonna come back to? Are you sure? What if you play this indie gem instead because it's so low profile, and then hop to Soul Hackers 2?
Hmm.
Hmm. I mean, no one. Okay, I don't want to be mean, but like relative to all these like big grand titles, like it's gonna be relatively less played,
That
right?
is true.
Yeah, but this game looks phenomenal.
It really does.
Uh,
I'll
while
consider it. I'll
Derek thinks
consider it.
about that, while he thinks about that, let's talk about another horror game because you guys know I like horror games. So, this new title is called The Forest Drizzling Rain. It's a very weird title, but I think it's actually a direct translation from Japanese. This game was originally released in Japan in 2013, and this is a full remake that's coming to the West. Following the death of her parents, Shiori Kansaki happens across an old photo of themselves in the bedroom. And the photograph shows a young Shiori with her parents with along the inscription that says Azakawa Village. So the game has Shiori travel to the village to discover their family secret.
Hmm.
Seems like a typical horror game plot.
Yeah, sure. All
Yeah.
right. So you want to take a look at the trailer then?
Yes, please.
Alrighty then. Only because you said please though.
Yep.
The late 90s. Hey, that's my jam. One night in a small village in Japan, a lamentable tragedy occurred.
The first oyster thing. I missed the of. That made a little bit more sense.
The forest of drizzling rain. Oh, that looks
Yeah.
like it's missing
Art
frames of
style looks-
animation, but you know, I mean the rest of it looks nice.
I feel like when it's done deliberately, it's a little it's kind of charming. It brings back like like some previous age maybe.
Yeah, a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe Suikoden 1-ish in like
Yeah.
the character like dimensions as well as like a couple frames of animation, but
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if it's like, are you just lazy or did this on purpose, right? It's a thin line.
if you have to ask, I think it's a sign that maybe could use a little work.
Could be. It is an expansive full remake. So there you go. That's another
The forest of drizzling rain. Yeah,
2D
not
action
bad.
horror. I'm all about these. I mean, I think that's something nice about these games, especially for us who play a lot of JRPGs. Like, look, each of these JRPGs, especially like the AAA ones, are like 100, 150 hours.
Yeah.
These small titles are like maybe 15
Oh yeah,
hours.
bite-sized in
Yeah,
comparison.
and it just feels so good to just play one of these and just be like, oh my god, I finished the game in like 2 streams. Wow, amazing. I could actually do this. So yeah, so that's what they're really good for.
All right. Well, we also
So,
oh, go
oh
ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say that the game is coming out a fall of this year. So if you guys are like me and are interested in these kind of 2D horror games, that's coming out probably in the next couple of months. So keep an eye out on it.
Yeah. Well, so previously we've talked a little bit about this game, and we finally have a release date and a new trailer for Doraemon, Story of Seasons, Friends of the Great Kingdom. So
Yes.
now Doraemon, that's one of your favorites, right, Baku?
Oh yeah, I grew up with Doraemon. I love them.
All right. Let's give this a gander then.
Yes. So this is a Story of Seasons game spin-off. So for anyone who are like big on like farming simulators, and if you're like me, you grew up with Doraemon, this is gonna be a treat for you because they're going to basically let you use Doraemon's like gadgets to help you along with these like farming kind of like things. So activities. So they've like kind of like integrated the story of season gameplay, which a lot of people like, with these like gadgets. That's what Doraemon's known for. So I think it's pretty cool. The art looks amazing, quite honestly. So especially for these kind of games, I
Yeah.
think it looks very endearing. So, take a second away from all the horror games and bloodlust and murdering things. We're in a farming sim now.
Yeah, and it's not just any farming sim. This is a continuation again of the Harvest Moon series from back on the
Yes.
Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. Story Seasons is what they now call that series. Harvest Moon, the new ones are uh, unrelated, which is
Hmm.
a weird rabbit hole in and of itself. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you were into the original Harvest Moon games, Story Seasons is probably where you want to be looking now.
Yeah, this trailer is a little bit more extensive, and I believe the last time we got it was like just full Japanese with like no translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this time they're actually I think this one's the official English translated trailer. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
That's a
I
nice
think you're gonna
looking
meet
game.
different aliens. Yeah, no, it looks amazing. I don't even like farming sims, and I'm like, maybe I'll give it a shot. I don't know.
It just looks
Just
cozy, you know?
games. I
So if you're,
know.
if you're into what's the uh
Where's the music? Oh, you guys not able to hear any trailer music at all
oh, there wasn't a
whatsoever?
whole lot of music. It was just a person talking mostly. I have to have
Mm.
it kind of low, otherwise we hit, copyright stuff.
Ah, okay. Well, there you
So,
go. That's what you guys were asking about. And
yeah.
it confirms your beliefs that it was indeed. But no worries, because once I put the description up, you guys can find all the links in the description as always. Any trailer that we show, any news article
Oh
that
yeah.
primary sources, always in the description. It's just a little late today because I just started my new job today and I just didn't have time to type it up. But after the show, probably sometime tomorrow it'll be up. So you can take a look at that. Okay.
All right. So anyways, the game is coming out in the West here on November 2nd of this year, and it's coming out on PS5, Nintendo Switch, PC via Steam.
That's right. All right. So we've got another game that was previously just full Japanese that are now being released worldwide, and it is developed by Acquire and published by PQ. Yeah,
Mhm.
PQ's been picking up a lot of games.
They have.
Uh,
I mean, I
yeah.
always kind of thought of PQ before as being kind of like a smaller localization team, smaller
Mm-hmm.
publisher, but like they've really been picking up steam, like you said. Like
Yeah.
especially with this like niche of yeah, yeah, they're
A
doing
lot of
great.
acquire games, but also was like the story of heroes. I forgot what series that was called, but it's like something hero series. I think they picked
Class
that
of
up, and
Heroes.
then Class of Heroes. Thank you. The Class of Heroes series. There's that new game that we talked about. They picked that
Yeah.
up. And then there's that like Alchemist game. They picked that up.
Yeah.
So this game is called Labyrinth of Zangetsu. This is a Japanese art and folklore inspired dungeon crawler, so something that I probably will not play. But
Okay.
I know that a lot of you guys are fans of dungeon crawler games, and this game is finally announced for the West. The game features beautiful Japanese ink art, which ties into the ink monsters that you'll actually battle.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah, so thematically and artistically are like linked. So let's take a look at that trailer so you can see what I'm talking about. Like the art actually looks like phenomenal.
So it's like a sumei. Is that what it's called? The Japanese
Yeah, I believe so. Look at that. Like as you're
ooh,
walking, like just ink just spawns. Like the what is it? The environment spawns.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just aesthetically.
Yeah, like it gets painted in.
Yes,
That
yes.
is super cool.
I think it's super cool.
A
Yeah.
little bit disturbing looking.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the old
It kind
illustrations
of
from.
reminds me of Okami too,
Oh
because
yeah, yeah.
Okami also has this heavy like ink art aesthetics.
Yeah.
So yeah, so definitely along that line. So yeah, so if you like that kind of art and you're a big like dungeon crawler gamer and RPG, yeah, maybe this is right up your alley. So this game is going to have a early 2023 release, so it's going to be a couple months from now. But it will be released on PS4, Switch, and PC, with physical pre-order for PS4 and Switch already live. So yeah, so look forward to it in a couple of months.
Awesome. And I went ahead and left this one up for you as well because I knew
Why?
that, I mean,
No,
this
I
is
was
this.
waiting. I was waiting for you to talk about this one.
Oh, you wanted me to talk about Nep Nep? I
Did you
mean,
want to talk about this one? Did you want
I
to talk about Nep Nep?
no,
Do
no,
you
you
want a
got
Nep Nep?
this. I've never played Nep Nep before.
Oh God. Okay.
It seems
Sorry.
like it'd be much more your alley.
So we've got a new game from Neptunia. I was mistaken. I thought this was like yet another remake, but no, this is actually a brand new game
Wow, that's been a while
called
since I've done a new game.
yeah, I know, I know. It's called Neptunia Sisters versus Sisters. Of course, I thought they were redoing the second game because, like, I think like the second game was Sisters something. So,
Uh-huh.
Idea Factory International has announced Neptunia Sisters versus Sisters will finally be coming to the West in both standard and limited edition, as per basically Iffy's protocol. In this game, you play as the goddess candidates, led by Nepgear, who is also the main character in Neptunia 2, which is why I thought this is a Neptunia 2 remake.
Okay.
Who is awakened after a 2-year slumber to find that the game industry has been upended by a treacherous threat called the trendy phenomenon. Let's take a look at that trailer. Trendy. I know. It's very on the nose. Everything about this game is very on the nose.
It's such subtle storytelling.
Oh yeah, totally. Of course, there's no gameplay because it's a Neptunia game, so you're gonna watch a music video with pretty girls.
Time for an impromptu dance party.
Oh yeah. So I don't know how many people are familiar with the Neptunia series, but basically, the Neptunia series is about a world called game industry, where there are 4 goddesses that resides over the land, where they fought a war called the Console War.
Really?
And
Oh.
each of these nations represents like one of the game console makers. So
Really?
so
There's that
yeah,
kind of
so,
symbolism in this game?
yeah, so Vert is one of the characters you saw. Vert represents Microsoft.
Oh.
She's Xbox.
Was that
so
the
she's
green one with the blonde hair?
Yes.
Oh,
And
go
then
figure.
you have a Nor, which is PlayStation. 'Cause
Oh,
PS2, PS3
the one
is
who's in
black.
all black? Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
And then you have Blanc, who represents Nintendo because of the Wii.
Okay.
And then finally you have Neptune, which represents Sega, if they kept making consoles. So it's kind of like imaginary, like if there were still 4 console makers out there.
Oh.
Yes, and hence Nepgear because Game Gear, and
Oh.
Neptune is a play on the Sega Saturn. Yeah, so there you
Okay.
go. Yeah, so that's
Wow.
where that's where that came from. Yeah, that was the original idea to the game, and I think when they first released the game, they didn't think that the game was gonna hit. They just thought it was gonna be like whatever. But
Yeah,
then
it
the
was just
game
gonna be
has
uh-huh.
yeah, the game has matured over time. I would say. I know it's a lot of fan service. I know.
Sure.
I know. It's my guilty pleasure. I know. But the game has matured, I think, over time in terms of just like actual RPG gameplay. Because
Uh-huh.
before it was just like fan service. The gameplay is that at best. And even later series where like the jokes are getting kind of stale, and that's like I couldn't even really recommend anymore. But the latest one that they came out with, which is V2, the gameplay actually matured a whole lot. So I'm
Oh.
hoping that they will continue that trend and just have this game be taken a little bit more seriously as a JRPG and not just like fan service all over the place.
Kinda doing like a South Park kinda deal where at first it was just a bunch of crude humor and stuff, but
Yeah.
eventually evolved into something that was like a little more, uh, you know, I don't know, worked on their
substantial.
commentary, I guess.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope so. I've because it's kind of became their flagship game for some odd reason, and they have since released other game like Compound Heart and Idea Factory have since released like
Didn't they
some
do Death End
better games.
Request?
Death End Request is one. It's still a lot of fan service, but if you look away from that, the writing in
Mhm.
that game is phenomenal. It's one of the best like written game I've ever seen. The plot twist upon plot twist, all the way to the end, was insane. It'll keep you guessing to the very end. Um, but yeah, so and
Cool.
there's this other game. Shit, I don't remember. It has to do with like witches and whatnot, and that was kind of like a tragedy kind of game. But they've worked on a couple other titles that I think, even from like an RPG standpoint, they're respectable, fan service and all. So let's hope that that's something, because I would really like to be able to recommend this game as a JRPG and not just
And
because it
not
had
just
pretty girls in it.
yeah.
I know. Anyways, this game is coming out to the West in early 2023 on PS4, PS5, and PC via Steam. The game is actually already available in Japanese in PS4 and PS5. So if you want to just go ahead and weeb out and just read Moon Runes, you can actually get the game right now on PS4, PS5. The rest of us, though, will wait until early 2023.
All right, we got another game here that was announced called Little Goody Two Shoes. It's by a
Yeah.
Portuguese developer, Astral Shift, and they've partnered up with Square Enix to bring this indie RPG to market. The game is centered around Elise. I mispronounced that pretty poorly.
Yeah.
Okay, Elise, an ambitious girl determined to become rich and escape her humble life. Now, that's something I can identify with. Players will step into Elisa's shoes and soon find themselves immersed in 90s inspired horror role playing adventure game.
More horror role playing games
Oh my
because I
goodness.
like those. Oh yeah,
I'm sensing a
listen,
theme.
they're-
Do I need to start do I need to start screening some of these, Baku? Is this
I
becoming a
think-
horror cast?
they're really catering to my taste right now. So yes, let's take a look.
All right. Okay. So is this the PlayStation Talents one? Yeah. That's
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yeah, so this actually is an earlier trailer. They didn't have a later trailer, but from what I've seen, they haven't changed a whole lot. So this is still going to tell you what the game looks like. Again, the art is amazing.
Yeah.
It definitely has like a 90s feel.
Okay. It lost me a little bit there. Okay, well, maybe not. Okay.
So that's like they want to sort of recapture the PS2 era kind of look. I don't know if they've succeeded or not. And the art is the art looks like
It looks like
what's that?
40s, 50s, like Disney. Kind of like,
Yes.
I mean, I don't know about like the character themselves, but like the backgrounds, the scroll, like
Mhm.
the parallax,
Yeah.
looks a lot like that.
I-
Like that
I
looks
will
like
say
Snow White and
yeah,
the Seven Dwarves kind of deal going on there.
I think the newest trailer does look a little better. Of course, it's been like 2 years, but it was just so short that I didn't think
Oh, okay.
showing that made sense.
I gotcha.
I'm hoping for a better trailer later on, but just keep in mind that this is 2019 trailer.
Yeah, this trailer is
yeah.
not exactly new.
But yeah, but it just shows a lot of the game, so I decided to use this one instead. Yeah, the other one just showed like 10 seconds of clips, and it
Yeah.
doesn't tell you anything. So
Okay.
no, I thought the art looks like early, like late 80s anime.
I mean, as far as like the characters,
The
totally,
portrait, yeah,
totally,
yeah.
yeah. The portraiture
yeah,
definitely has that look.
yeah.
Late
And I know a
80s,
lot of folks
like
like
the especially pointy character faces and stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think aesthetically, this game has some things going on. Now, this game is being partnered up with Square Enix, so I think that they're getting some additional help from Square Enix to really, maybe even technologically, to help bring this game out. So I think they see some, they see something in this game. I think it's through the Square Enix Indies Collaborative. I don't know the full name, but
Mhm.
I have high hope that this is going to be an interesting game. In fact, I was very shocked to see this. The day that they announced this game
Yeah.
through the Square Enix Twitter. The game actually took over Square Enix's Twitter, which is kind
Wow.
of crazy to me because this is the game that basically has no release date. Okay. And it's an indies game. And Square Enix, of course, as you guys know, have a whole bunch of games that are coming out, and
Very
none of
soon.
them, right, are taking over the Square Enix Twitter.
Yeah.
So that was a strange choice, I thought, but that kind of made waves. They're like, "What? Square Enix Twitter got taken over by indies game." I think that was trending for. In fact,
Yeah.
I wonder if it's still up right now. I'm gonna take a quick look at Twitter.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah, so the more I saw of that, so initially when I saw that it was a little jarring, I was like, oh, I'm not sure I love it. But the more I saw of it, the background art, just that's really what's getting me most excited. And the portraiture, the sprites, not so much.
yeah,
So hopefully that's maybe something that they continue to work on. I don't know. So, anyways,
yeah.
currently, yeah, no release date or platform information is available. So stay tuned, and we'll continue to provide updates to this game as they
You,
arise.
you want to switch over to my screen really quickly?
Sure thing.
Yeah, let's look at that. You see this right here?
Oh,
Can you
yeah, they
see
really
that?
have. They've taken over the banner
Yeah.
and okay.
Actually, they took over the not just the banner, but the avatar too for a little while. Yeah, no, it's true. Like for a while, the avatar was also
That's
this
very
character, and
interesting.
I'm just like, really? Like you have like no, you have absolutely like no dates on this. I don't know why they've decided to do that,
Yeah.
but
Well,
here we are.
hopefully they'll
Yeah.
have updates soon since it's, you know, got so much traction now.
Well, there's
Um
this.
oh, is that the new trailer?
That's the relatively new one, but yeah, you see, that's like it doesn't show you anything.
Yeah,
That's all just like,
that's all it is. Huh.
yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't show you anything. I couldn't find any better trailers, so we just went with the other one. Okay.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll provide updates as they arise.
Yeah.
But that about wraps it up for all of the new games. Jeez, and it's we've been at it
Yeah.
for a while
Yeah.
already, and we haven't even hit the
hmm
industry news.
Oh boy, here we are with the industry news. So let's start off with a pretty light one. And Nintendo will reduce the Switch box size, but not raise prices. Mm.
Well, that's
So, yeah.
good, I guess, because you're not getting any more cardboard for it.
Right. So, according to a Nikkei report, Nintendo will be reducing their packaging sizes to a Nintendo Switch, and that's going to help improve shipping efficiency, the company's ability to meet demand for the system, which is actually like pretty good news
Yeah.
for an environmental standpoint, and also just like we've talked a lot about logistics,
Hmm.
especially because of COVID and what have you, and all of these things are just like compounding, right? Like
Yeah.
what was a small problem compounds to be very big problems when you have labor shortage and just general lack of transportation, right? In
Yeah.
fact, I just got news today. Actually, I should have brought that up earlier, but I just got news today that the limited edition or the collector's edition for the So Hackers 2, the goods actually being shipped separately, and they're gonna send you the game, on time. But all those bonus things, they're gonna send it to you later. Sort of like, what's that other game that they're doing this with?
Xenoblade?
Xenoblade, yeah, Xenoblade 3. So it's like kind of similar story, but
Yeah.
that's all because of logistics and what have you, right? So yeah, so good on them for taking the approach to try to make this better one way or another. Now, in talking with Nikkei, which is one of the biggest newspaper in Japan, the Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa also said that Nintendo will not, or is at least not currently considering a price hike for the system. Fukukawa said that their strategy really is to continue to expand the install base and push through software sales. So that's two separate tactics, like push
Yeah.
the install base, sell more software, right? And I think that's actually really smart because guess what? Digital downloads don't require logistics, right? So
It's
as long
true.
as I
Yeah.
can push more hardware, even at a cost leader, as long as people are buying software, it will come out on top. And that strategy has actually worked out really well for the switch over to pandemic. which has made it basically the highest, the most sold console period, outselling even the Wii, and which was the previous king
Yeah.
of install base. Um, that actually aligns. So they're saying that the price hike wouldn't align with their grand strategy, because that would just price people out. So I
Yeah.
think they've got it like on the head, and I think that's pretty notable because Sony is basically saying the opposite. Sony's saying, yeah, we actually may have to raise the price on the system.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Wow.
y'all heard about that. Yeah.
That is
So,
diabolical. I mean, that's
mm,
super smart.
yeah.
It hadn't occurred to me like that how much the size of the Nintendo Switch packaging might actually affect their ability to move more units. But it totally makes sense when you lay it out like that. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
like
absolutely.
you're shipping based on like not just weight, but also
Mhm.
like dimensions,
Yeah, the size of the
volume.
container. Yeah,
Yeah. So if you can
absolutely.
pack more in there, then you can
You
make
can
more money
ship
from
more.
that shipment. And with
Yeah.
logistics the way it is, then God, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
no, like shipping costs has basically doubled
wow.
over the pandemic, for commercial shipping, that is.
Yeah.
So it's insane. It's insane. And actually speaking on that, they already experienced some kind of package shrinkage because the wow, I can't believe I just said package shrinkage. Anyways, yes. So from the original Switch to the OLED version, actually has gone down, I think, by about 14%.
Yeah.
So, I think Nintendo see like uh, the benefits to making sure that they're shipping something smaller, and
Hmm.
they're gonna look for ways to continue that trend. So good on them for looking for like new innovative way to solve a problem from a different angle.
Yeah.
And I'm really
Definitely.
hoping that like other companies will take note and maybe also
And
shrink down their packages.
maybe. And that's one of the other reasons I was thinking that's so diabolical is because the PS5 is huge in
Oh
comparison.
God, yeah.
So not only like are they having to sell it because it's more powerful of a system and the chips are probably more expensive, but also the box has got to be just as big. And that's, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Well,
interesting things to consider. Thank you, Baku.
yeah. You're
Well,
welcome.
in other industry news, we got the Embracer Group making some new moves. So after they purchased
Yes.
Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal and Square Enix Montreal, the group is back at it again. And this time it's to purchase several companies, most notably for us in the US, the Middle Earth Enterprises, which owns
Mm-hmm.
the worldwide exclusive rights to The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and
Yeah.
and Limited Run Games, which specializes in the release of digital games and physical media.
Yeah, not really JRPG related, but this is huge. Like
Yeah.
the Embracer Group is really making some interesting moves here.
So
And I
who
felt
is
like
the
this is a
Embracer
good
Group?
fall.
This sounds
Uh,
familiar. Like, is this like an independent group of like wealthy people in like the Netherlands or something? Or
so I think they started off with as the THQ Nordic, I think.
uh-huh.
And then I think they got bought out by venture capitalists, rebranded, bought a whole couple of other things, just kept buying, you know, different companies and just kept growing. I think is what happened, because they didn't really catch my attention until they purchased Crystal Dynamics, and we've talked about
Yeah.
it where they basically spent like an obscene small amount of money to buy the rights to basically Lara Croft.
And
Uh
maybe pay off the debts of Square Enix. Maybe.
well, pay off debts and move into NFT space, because that was the
Yeah.
whole decision to sell all these. Well, I wouldn't say the entire decision, but part of it, at least according to the president, is so that they have capital to invest into this NFT endeavor, which I still think is stupid.
Yeah.
Like you just undersold three companies to go into a thing that no one wants you to
You
go
know,
into.
Square Enix is doing this weird thing, but I kind of appreciate the fact that they're also narrowing their focus. Like everything that they're showing these days, like every single one is one that I'm interested in.
That is true. And I've heard actually good things about Battlefield now that they have a trailer out.
Hmm.
Not trailer out, a demo. Now they have
Yeah.
demo out. Some folks have played it and they're like, you know what, this game is actually pretty good. So I actually haven't played a demo myself, but I've just been that busy. But I will soon.
So I feel like maybe Square Enix by selling those things to Embracer Group, like narrowed their focus onto a specific audience, and that audience happens to be me. And and maybe I'm biased, but I feel like that's like a good choice to kind of return them to the roots of what made them great in the past.
See,
So
I don't know if I buy that, right?
mhm,
Because here's the thing, that the studios that they sold for the most part
we're
are
pretty
Western
profitable.
studios. No, they're the Western
That too.
studios.
Uh-huh.
So the Western studios developers and their talents and games and schedules and audience do not conflate with the Japanese studios. So all the games that you're like super interested in, they're like Japanese studios or
Hmm.
outsourced to
Yeah,
other Japan. Like what's that one game? Valkyrie Elysium, right? That's outsourced to like a small studio. So it doesn't quite matter. They don't even involve the right people.
that's true.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, and they were making those games anyway, even if they didn't sell these studios. So I'm not sure if I would buy
I mean, I
that.
when I think of it as kind of like strengthening the Square Enix brand and solidifying it
Mm,
as like the JRPG company again, as opposed to
mm.
the JRPG company that also does Tomb Raider, that also does this and also does that. Anyway, that
Yeah.
that's way off topic. We can move along.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Hey, people here to hear your opinion, Derek. They miss your voice. You
Oh
understand?
shucks.
You haven't been streaming. You gotta give the people what they want. Yeah. Alrighty. The next piece of news involves lots of Pokemon things. The online illustration exhibition for the trading card game is now open from August 10th to October 23rd. So it's not permanently open. It features three different areas called Life History and Artists. I took a look at it, and it's just basically shows a bunch of trading cards. So if you are a fan of the Pokemon trading card game, there is an online exhibition. Link in the description later on once I get that all together. Some more exciting news for trading card games fans. The Pokemon Company announced that the Pokemon 2023 World Championship will take place in Yokohama, Japan for the first time ever. So that's super exciting news. I don't know how they're actually going to do this though, because Japan is not exactly open to tourists. Because boy, if it was, you would be the first to not hear from me. I'll be gone for like 3 weeks. But they are very keen on having this, next championship. The 2022 championship just ended, so there's like the next one is gonna be in Yokohama. So pretty cool stuff, especially if you look forward to attending. So maybe you can visit Japan for the first time and actually attend the World Championship. Also announced during the World Championship in London this past month is the Arceus Chronicles anime special that will debut on that debuted there for the limited audience, but
Mhm.
also will be available in Netflix starting September. So
Oh,
yay,
okay.
more special anime. I believe this one is gonna actually have Ash and Dawn, who's like sort of like the main character from the from that region. I forgot that region's called.
Okay.
Where Arceus takes place,
Mhm.
and I think they're being thrown back in time, so it's kind of cool because they're tying into the Arceus game, right?
Yeah.
So super cool. Love to see how that one plays out. And I'm not even a big Pokemon fan. I just like seeing fun little like game tie-in things here and
Yeah.
there. So
Game
if you're a big
tie-in TV series and movies and stuff.
all that fun stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are a Pokemon fan, rejoice. There's a whole bunch of these things coming your way before, of course, Violet and Scarlet, which is I think like November. So yeah,
Yeah.
more things for you to be excited about.
Well, I got more exciting things for you to be excited about, Baku, since you are a
Very
fan
excited.
of video game tie-in movies and TV shows and stuff, because we have a bunch more films in the making to tie in
Oh
to some of those
yeah.
games, including Sega, who's currently working on two new films based on Space Channel 5 and Comics Zone in
Mm,
partnership with Picture Start. No
yes.
visuals or estimated release windows are out at the moment. Now, are you familiar with Comics Zone, Baku?
I am not familiar with Comic Zone at all, but I
It
do know
is
Space Channel 5.
Comics Zone is a rad Sega Genesis game. I'm not super familiar
What?
with Space Channel 5, but Sega Genesis
Hmm.
game where like you're playing as a comic book illustrator who got sucked into his own comic, and it's
Hmm.
super rad,
Huh.
super hard. It's very tough,
Wow.
tough as balls. Um, so
Well, Space
also,
Channel 5
mhm,
is well, before you move on,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
since we're trading,
sure,
Space Channel 5, I think, is a girl who is works at a fast food restaurant changed into a reporter who has to fight aliens with groovy dance moves.
cool.
If that
Okay,
made any sense at all.
yeah, it's like a rhythm based game. I think I've
It
seen
is
some
absolutely a
of it.
rhythm-based game. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is hilarious. And you know, a lot of people wanted to see like a return of Space Channel 5. So maybe the movie will bring about new games. You know,
yeah,
that could be
maybe.
awesome. Yeah. Ooh la la, yes.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
also coming from Sega is a Sonic 3 movie that is slated for the 20th of 2024. I'm sorry, the 20th of December of 2024.
Yes,
Um,
2024.
and I gotta tell you, based on the stinger at the end of Sonic 2, I am shocked to find out that there's a Sonic 3 in the works. Shocked, I say. Shocked. Paramount took to Twitter to announce the next video or the next movie's release date.
Mhm.
Sonic 2 is currently the highest grossing video game film in the United States at
Yes.
$162.74 million.
Old memes.
Million.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's an old meme, but it checks out. So
Yeah.
yeah, not a bad little game tie in there for sure. I enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed half of it. The the part that didn't follow Sonic so much, kind of I could have done without. But anyways, it was a fun movie. And
Yeah,
then
it's crazy that Sonic is selling like crazy in the box office, but the
who knew?
games are just like
I know.
not doing hot, right?
Who knew
Um,
Sonic was supposed to just be a movie this entire dang time?
yeah, it's just wow. I can't wait to see how Mario does though, because you know the Mario movie is coming. Will the Mario be the inverse of it, where they do amazing games and the movies are
And
just
just
like
a
blah? Yeah, I'm
completely
like
oh, that'd be that'd be
that would be
hilarious. I
hilarious.
mean, hey,
Yes.
the first movie they did was also pretty awful.
God.
Just
You mean the
saying,
animated one,
maybe,
right?
maybe that's
Oh,
exactly
jeez.
what they are. Maybe
Oh,
they are the
jeez. Yeah.
opposites. Now,
Mm.
last but not least,
Mhm.
Bandai Namco have announced that it too will enter the video game film business with its mascot, Pac-Man.
And I'm only laughing because that sounded like an Onion article.
Uh, I
We're
remember when
not
there were
kidding.
rumors about Pac-Man, a Pac-Man movie a long time ago, and then it turned out that it was just like pixels with Adam
Mhm.
Sandler or something. I was like,
Oh,
okay,
jeez.
that
Yeah.
was okay. I mean, it wasn't
No?
great, but it was okay. Anyways, so a Pac-Man movie, you
Mhm.
know, about a guy who's a pill popper, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No.
no estimated release window or visuals for this, but the
Mhm.
film will be based on an original story by Chuck Williams, who also produced the Sonic live action film.
Yeah, some legitimacy behind this. Hopefully this is not April's Fool anything. I mean, it's August. They're like
He's
4 months late if they think it's still April Fools. But when I read that, I'm like, they're not kidding.
I
They're
I do
serious
have
about
it.
this.
I do have it under good authority though that Pac-Man will be voiced by Chris Pratt. He's so cool.
Oh my god. Well, so I don't know. Hey, since we're talking about all these, you know, it's kind of interesting that a lot of these games are now getting like anime adaptations, live, action or these kind of I want to say live action, but they're like 3D animation,
Mhm.
Pixar sort of like deal. Are
Yeah.
there any JRPGs that you would like to see as a movie or a series, Derek?
No. No, probably.
No.
I mean, JRPGs, like, okay, so I saw, um,
No, okay, anything. Anime series, live
oh,
action, 3D animation, anything. Anything
okay.
goes. Yeah,
Okay.
anything. It
Okay.
doesn't have to be live action. Yeah.
Okay. Because when you said movie, that's what my mind went to is like,
Mhm,
there's no RPG that I've ever played that could be played out in a single movie. Dragon
mhm.
Quest V, your story really
Right?
they took some liberties
Yeah.
to tie a bow on it, and it was not
Mhm.
awful, but I didn't love it. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't ever want to see a movie of a
Mhm,
Japanese RPG.
mhm.
Gosh, but for like a oh, I would have to be really dumb to not say like I would totally watch a TV series, an animated anime, if you will, of maybe
Mhm.
Earthbound or something. Maybe
Mm.
especially if Shigesato Itoi was involved in its production. I mean,
Interesting.
I could totally see him doing something like that. He works in television, you know.
Mhm.
It's almost a surprise that it hasn't already happened. Um, and I feel like Earthbound itself would probably lend itself pretty well to sort of things like that.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. I I don't necessarily think it's a great idea, but I just personally want to say I want to see Yoko Taro work on a movie. He look this man
Okay.
did games, but he also did like a series of like stage plays.
Yeah.
So I think if you give him the funding, he would make like a crazy movie series. Like I could definitely see Yoko Taro just doing something crazy with that. And I want to see what kind of, insanity, what kind of genius he can bring to like this medium. Like, is it
Hmm.
just limited to games? But like I've heard I have never seen the stage play, but I've heard it was actually pretty good, all things considered. So I would really like to see not as a game series, but I just want to see Yoko Taro work on something related.
Yeah.
So, open question to all of you guys: what kind of live series, anime, movie, you name it? Just like don't think just live action, like any kind of these kind of like series, movie, medium. Would you like to see from a JRPG? Let us
Yeah.
know in the comments.
That'll be our side question of the day. So yeah, throw out your answers and we'll review them and we'll pick some good ones to highlight in next week's
Yes,
episode
let's talk
of
about it.
Hit Point. So now we have a little bit of some interesting news here that
Yeah.
Baku, we almost missed it. Baku, it came down to the wire. I was like, "Hey, Baku, you had a headline here, but nothing filled in." He's like, and he's like furiously typing things out for like the last 10 minutes leading into this episode. So,
Yeah,
what you
and
got here,
okay,
Baku?
and only because I kept finding this one article, but I was looking for another article, but that article was in Japanese, so it took me a little bit to find. So, back to the headline. Apparently, Yoshi P thinks Final Fantasy is struggling. Let's talk about that for a second. So, and I'm sure some of you guys have already read it, but in an interview with Inverse, Yoshi P says Final Fantasy as a franchise is struggling, quote, in terms of whether Final Fantasy is successfully adapting to industry trends. I believe the series is currently struggling.
Whew,
We're now at a point where we receive a wide variety of requests regarding the direction of our game design. And
truth.
to be honest, it'd be impossible to satisfy all those requests with a single title. My
Uh
current
huh.
impression is that all we can really do is create multiple games and continue creating the best that we can at any given time, which is about as great of
Yeah.
an answer I could ever hope for from a director on
Yes.
a title like this. I think we talked about this, right, Derek? Like there are like what does Final Fantasy mean to you? Like what
There.
makes a Final Fantasy
Yeah.
game
There is as many
is
definitions of Final Fantasy as there are fans. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there. I I would consider myself a Final Fantasy fan, though I haven't been a fan of any of them since 10.
Yeah. And
I mean,
I think yeah, I mean he had a definition was actually kind of funny. Like
mhm.
he's like, yeah, if you ask me what a Final Fantasy is, it's like great music, great story with chocobo summons and and the likes. Like and I think he just threw like a pretty generic answer. But
And
I
it
think
has
he
to be
also
generic.
yeah, and I think he didn't mean it like verbatim. I think he said it in a kind of what's the word like like in a kind of parody kind of way. I don't know,
Oh,
not parody, like kind of an ironic kind of way, right?
uh-huh.
Because like obviously that's not like an exact answer, but it is just that vague. Like what really is a Final Fantasy is those Chocobo and summons and yada. I think he's kind of being a little funny, but at the same time, like seriously,
It's
like what does
absolutely
make a
true.
Final Fantasy? Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
sometimes sardonic humor is the best way to tell the truth, you know?
yeah.
And that's exactly what he's doing here because he's gotten himself into hot water by being a little too forward at times about other things, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
so by coating it in a layer of humor, maybe maybe he'll, avoid the wrath of the CEO. But honestly, I feel like Yoshi P at this point, like with an answer like that, he knows more about Square Enix and its fans than anybody else that I've heard anything from the top of Square Enix in a while.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think, that's probably the right direction anyway for Final Fantasy. And he's given further comments,
Mhm.
and this is the reason why it took me so long because I couldn't
Okay.
find this article. So, further commenting on the direction of the franchise in a separate interview with the Japanese site Comic Days, which, by the way, this is part of the reason why I like Yoshi P so much because he actually goes out and talk to publication.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like looking forward to any of these directors for like I don't know Tactics Ogre, Valkyrie Elysium, Forspoken, Dialspiel, just any of these guys. Like I'm just like, can you guys please go talk to the publication? Tell me what you guys are working on. Tell me your philosophy, like
Yeah.
anything. But like they don't really do that. Yoshi P does. So talking to Comic Days, Yoshida further elaborate on the switch to action-based battle because that's the really contentious point that a lot of
Uh-huh.
people are pointing to. He says that he explains that he realizes the game's switch to action-based combat is not going to sit well with players more used to traditional turn-based combat. We want the world, quote, especially the younger generation, to play the game, Yoshida said, claiming that many players in their late teens and late 20s have heard of Final Fantasy series but never played it. They just like wouldn't even give it a chance, right?
Yeah.
So in order to entice a younger generation to get into the game, Yoshi P thinks that this is the way of the reality based on their research, based on their based on their market research, based on their
Yeah.
polls, based on all the things that they've looked into. This is how we can get the younger generation into this series. That's just where the trend is leading, and it's really hard to argue against it. Now, I get it, right? Like, oh well, we want this to be tradition, um, and I think there's always that debate for anything that goes on for multiple when it survives long enough. Anything, not even just games, anything.
Mhm.
At some point, you're gonna find a group of traditionalists, and you're gonna find people who don't really care for whatever that is. You can
Yeah.
either let it die, or you can adapt. And I think Yoshida is choosing adaptation to keep this franchise going.
I mean, I feel like
I'm
that's the role of the business is obviously
yeah,
not to let the business go under or something like that. It's just
yeah.
it is unfortunate and I don't think it's necessarily because of the turn-based mechanisms that people were not playing them before. I
Mhm.
mean, the when was the last traditional turn-based Final Fantasy game?
When was the last one? Uh, 13.
And that
13.
was what, 2007?
That was PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like
13, definitely 13. Yeah.
well, I guess
I had to think
the
for a second.
various 13s which went on through
Yeah,
how I don't
all
know.
three of them I think were turn-based. So,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, and people probably might not have played 13, but not because it was turn-based. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
well, it's
turn-based,
because
I mean, they had some other problems besides.
there were other issues. Yeah.
I mean, they haven't made a truly great, like universally lauded turn-based RPG in the Final Fantasy series since 10, which
Yeah, I
was
would say 10.
2003-ish. It's been
Yeah,
like 20 years. I mean,
it's been a while.
I mean, I I don't know. Maybe people aren't playing
Uh,
turn-based because they haven't made turn-based Final Fantasy good in a long time. Just throwing
that
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 out
is
there.
that is no, that is also true. And you know what? Just before anyone says anything, because they're totally gonna look at this and say, "Oh, Baku hates turn-based games." We watch the other episodes, okay? Like we absolutely adore turn-based
Baku, why
RPG.
do you hate America? I'm kidding.
Why do you hate people?
Why do you hate
Just
JRPGs, Baku?
why do you
With
hate JRPGs?
JRPGs in your name.
Yeah, no, because we've defended titles such as, in fact, speaking on action versus turn-based, I've been a staunch defender of Like a Dragon, which is
Oh yeah,
which is
Yakuza.
kind of the opposite. They've done the
Hmm.
opposite, right? They've taken
Sure.
the action formula, and people were up at arm, and they were basically yelling the opposite things, which is I find that hilarious. Like I'm just like one of these days, I just want old school Final Fantasy fans meet old school Yakuza fans because you guys are yelling like the opposite things, right?
Yeah.
It is now a turn-based game. The newest title for Yakuza is a turn-based title, and people loved it, right? It was
Yeah.
great. I played it. I found flaws, but I found it generally good. Okay, Persona 5 turn-based, made a splash. I mean not Devil's Stone, Soul Hacker turn-based. People are just lining up to get this thing. Turn-based definitely has a future. In fact, a
Yeah.
very bright future, if you ask me. Like the golden age of JRPG again that we've sort of talked about, like it's sort of coming back, right?
Yeah.
So turn-based is here to stay. But that also doesn't mean that Final Fantasy had to stay on that track to
Yeah.
be, to survive, or to to meet the demands of the next generation of gamers coming up. So I
And to
mean,
be
if
fair,
that's yeah.
Final Fantasy has been moving away from like the traditional turn-based system since it started. Like, I mean, ever since they introduced like ATB, like they've been dabbling with real-time elements. So it kind of makes sense that they would continue to evolve in that direction, to be totally honest, you know. So I don't know. Just because there is a future in turn-based RPGs
Yeah.
doesn't mean that Final Fantasy has to be it. It just sucks, I think, mostly that the game that was previously turn-based, Final Fantasy VII, is now being remade with exclusively action. And I think that's what people are really stung most over at this point. I don't think
Mhm.
anybody cares if 15 is action or not. I mean, at this point, I
Well,
don't think anybody
16.
16, sorry.
Yeah, 15 is definitely action.
Yeah, sorry. See, that's
Yeah.
how far behind I am. Um,
Oh, jeez.
yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, everyone should just be like, the solution is everyone should just be like Falcom.
yeah. Everybody be like Falcom. Make the
Yeah. Have an action title that's like your flagship action title, and then have your flagship like turn-based title.
well that
But
that is Square Enix with Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy now.
well, but didn't hold on. I see. I don't know this, okay, because I haven't seen the gameplay to avoid spoiler. But didn't like the new Trails game actually added like action elements in?
I don't know.
Like I could have sworn
I think
in
so.
Kudo, like in
Sounds
Kudo.
familiar. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So it's just
I'm avoiding spoilers too, so I
Yeah,
can't
me too.
say.
That's about as much as I read into it. Like nothing about stories, nothing about worldview, anything. Just I've just
Yep.
heard that there's some action element in the gameplay. But no, I think this is still. I honestly think the jury's still up. The game could completely flop, and he does not know what he's talking about. Action is crap. It
I don't
could
know.
be.
In Yoshi
It could
P, I
be.
trust.
Yoshi Pietros. That should be our national motto from now on. Yeah, and I'm just saying it could be absolute garbage when it comes out. We're not saying this is going to be great, but what I would urge people is just give it a shot. It's the same thing I said about Like a Dragon. Just give it a shot. Like
Mhm.
before you go, like this is not action. Just give it a
Yeah.
shot. Give it a shot. Play it. See if you like it. Be open mind. And if you really don't like it, if it's still bad for you, cool,
Then,
right? Like you
yeah,
tried it, yeah.
then rage,
But
sure.
yeah, don't scream like murder without even seeing the thing. That's what I would say. So, and obviously this game hasn't been out yet, so just please give it let it come out first.
All right, so let's dive into some merch drops, and then we'll wrap up with some of these messages that we've been getting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, I think you're gonna love this merch drop here and this slick
oh
this
yeah,
slick
I can
video.
already tell this looks incredible.
Mhm.
Oh,
All right, this is definitely something you'll buy. Yeah.
oh yeah. Oh, am I talking about this? I may as well, I guess.
Oh no, I go ahead, please, please.
Oh,
Sir.
okay, okay.
Yes.
So, um, guys and gals, if you're feeling like your drip is just a little dry and you need some ice to cool it down,
Mhm.
Sonic has you covered in diamonds. In a
Yes.
collection with the jewelry maker King Ice, Sega is releasing 5 or diamond
Oh,
neck. What, I'm
Sorry,
sorry?
that's 5 more. That's 5
5.
more.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm so
sorry.
sorry. 5 more
Yes.
diamond. I was going to say 5 or, dang. Okay, 5
5
more
more, yeah.
diamond
Mhm.
necklaces. This time it's Supersonic, Amy, Dr. Eggman, and Neutral Chow and Dark Chow. You
Yeah,
want
so
to
we don't have a trailer we don't have like a video for these new character, but you can see the previous video, which is what this is, and you can get an idea of what we're looking at. So yeah, let's take a look.
All right.
What? Oh, look at that bling. Look at all those bling. Look at that Sega. Oh my god.
My
Wow.
mother-in-law would wear the crap out of these.
Oh my god.
These
Who
look
are
like
these made for?
these look like the worst keychains.
Who are they made for? Who are they made for? It's an actual. I think I'm not even sure if it's an actual gold chain, but like
I doubt it
$150.
because $150. These
Yeah.
one of these can be yours for 150 bones. That's American doll hairs. So yeah, if you just got to be a little frostier, you know, if you want to
Or
look if you want to
or if-
look a little more bling when you're chowing down on chili dogs,
especially if
you got
you are,
options. Just
if-
saying.
if you're an aspiring rapper.
Were these? I mean, if I was, yeah, if you're an
Yeah.
aspiring rapper, not a successful one, because if you were a successful one, you'd have better ice. But that's, I mean, that's not. I don't know who that's for.
I don't know who that's for.
Some high schooler kid is gonna have the whole collection. He's gonna pick up a part-time job just for it,
Yeah, I looked
and then he's
at
gonna
it
lose
and
one
I'm
on
like,
this bus when the chain breaks or something.
yeah, I'm just like, who? You have to be a Sonic fan.
Yeah.
You have to afford $150. But
The
you
hard
also
part is
have
finding a
to-
Sonic fan.
Oh, wow. Apologize to all the Sonic fans in chat right now.
Hey,
do we have any Sonic fans? in
Sega makes
here?
it hard, okay? Sega makes it hard.
Do you have any Sonic fan right now to defend Sonic's honor? Come on, I know you're here.
He
I
had
know
some pretty
you're
good
here.
movies.
He has some great movies. Apparently, 100. What is that? How many million? 162 million is nothing to scoff at, right? But
Yeah.
just I don't think any of those fans are paying $150 for these necklaces, though. It's just oh jeez. Can you imagine like the Mario equivalent of just like a mushroom with like just like blinged out? Actually, I think that would actually look a little cooler. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Hey, so somebody in chat says Sonic has amazing shakes. I will give credit where credit is due.
I've only been to Sonic the Fast Food Place once. By the way, for anyone who does not live in the East Coast, I don't know if Sonic's.
I think it's
only
like a
East
Midwest
Coast
thing.
It's a Midwest thing, yeah. So anyone who does not know what that is, Sonic is actually a fast food joint around us too. And I've only been to it twice ever because it's kind of a drive. But
Did they get your?
They got good stuff.
Did they get your order right?
They have gotten my orders right every time. Have they not gotten your orders right?
Every time there's something wrong. It's kind of like a joke between Amy and I at this point. It's like,
Oh, John.
yeah, it's funny. I'm not even mad. I mean, it's tasty whatever I get, but it's like it's just spin
Yo.
the roulette wheel.
Yeah, was it chili
Ha-
dogs? They
Oh
do
yeah, the
chili
extra
dogs.
long cheese
Yo,
conies.
mmm,
Yeah.
those are yummy.
So, anyways,
All
yeah.
right.
So Sonic necklaces. That's how you do that.
Yes, $150.
Hashtag not sponsored by Sega.
Not sponsored at all.
Oh man. All right. So, let's see. So we got a couple of merch messages that we got, or not merch messages. I've been watching way too much Linus Tech Tips. So for super chats, we got from Naticus here. He says, "How much
Hello.
does Baku's Tears cost on the merch page?"
Yes. So I am releasing a line of Baku tears called Oji-san tears. That's gonna come out in little jars. Then they're gonna be. I'm thinking the introductory price is gonna be $15 per bottle. I expect no one buying them, but I'm gonna keep making them.
All right. Well, I will say that anybody who catches Baku during a live stream, you can make him cry for a lot less. He has this redemption that you can have him eat some spicy noodles, and they are.
I removed it.
You removed it?
I removed it.
Oh man, it was limited run.
After vomiting one time, not over the noodles.
Oh,
the
no.
noodles would never do it to me. No,
Yeah.
it was I was doing a fundraising thing, right?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I had one too many of these like death nuts.
Oh no.
And yeah, my stomach like turned. I was like, well, I've never had that happen before.
Wow.
And then I went to the bathroom, which is right next to the streaming room, and I was vomiting so loud that like the mic picked it up.
Oh no.
And I thought that no one could hear me.
No.
Then I came back, like we just went on. No one talked about it until after the stream. I was like, "Oh my god, guys, that was so embarrassing. You might not know this, but I was vomiting in the next room." They're like, "Yeah, we know. We heard you. Like you heard me."
Oh,
It was
no.
pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Yeah, yeah. The noodles doesn't
Oh.
get me. The noodles. I eat those noodles for lunch. Those are nothing. No, it was
Yeah.
the death nuts that got me. After eating a couple of those, yeah, they were bad.
Man. All right. Well, that was a fun little story I didn't expect. We have another super chat here who came from Francisco L, who says, couldn't
Hey.
send a voicemail, so here's a question. Which RPG battle theme do you love and which one do you hate? Loved the Parasite Eve and hated the Persona 3 one.
Persona 3. Oh god. Oh, Persona 3. Oh jeez. Oh god. I'm with you. Yeah, Parasite Eve was nice. Do you remember the Parasite Eve
No,
theme?
not really.
No? It's kind of I don't know how to explain it. It's got like uh I don't know. Like I wish we could just like play a clip of it really quick and
No,
then
I can
you
look it
just, like,
up.
hear it. Yeah.
But
But while you do that,
yeah.
Parasite Eve definitely really good. It's got this like minimalistic like I don't know, feel to it. I don't know. It feels kind of modern, which makes sense given the setting of the game. It's but yeah, just that baby theme, just like God shoot
Mhm.
me. I hated Persona 3.
Okay, so I'm playing I'm playing it now. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Probably not.
I hear it.
Okay.
It's cutting in and out.
Oh, it's because it's really quiet. So I think Discord's
okay.
kind of killing it. But yeah, that sounds really nice.
Yeah, I don't know how to. I like. I'm not like a. I just appreciate music. I don't know how to explain it, so I
Sure.
apologize. I never say, but like when I hear it, it just feels very modern. That's how I would describe it, and it just feels really good. That progression
Yeah,
feels really good. Right?
kind of reminds me
And
of
it's
the
not
Bouncer
overwhelming. Yeah,
a little bit.
It's around the same age, so yeah. I mean, it could even be like
Same
similar
composer, maybe?
composer. Yeah,
Could be.
Yeah, Mass
So
Destruction is terrible. You take it back, Michael. You know it's bad. You know it's bad. P4 is way better, which by the way, I'm streaming P4 right now. P4 is way better. I'm grooving to P4. Like every stream, I look forward to the music. P3 was just like,
no,
I'm
P3 was
sorry.
awesome. I liked it a lot. So and also since we're gonna do music here,
Mhm.
listen to I think this one is let's see. God, what was it called? Battle for.
I just want to remind everyone that music is highly subjective, so please don't get mad at me for saying I don't like P3.
Here's
I just don't like P3.
so here is a from Persona 3, a battle theme that I really enjoyed, and it was called The Battle for Everyone's Souls. And it's a boss fight theme from like towards the end of the game.
Okay.
But it just has some of the most like intense. Oh, here, I'll skip ahead to like the good part. Because I used it at the towards the intro of my Persona 3 review.
Oh,
And it's just like-
okay. I see you. Yeah. I can definitely hear like similarities like in that persona. Oh, there it is.
Yep. Yeah, this was an incredible battle theme.
Isn't that just basically the remix of the Velvet Room? Though?
Yeah, it's called Battle for Everyone's Souls. The Velvet Room's theme is called Poem for Everyone's Souls, or Requiem, I think. So yeah,
Interesting.
Battle for Everyone's Souls is the battle that uses the same theme, and I love it.
Yeah,
And,
no, that sounds amazing.
And it's got some really awesome guitar riffs later on. It's a solid track. Now, one that I didn't care so much for, and I think this is one that everybody kind of universally pans, is the one from Chrono Cross. Like, it's not that it was bad, but Chrono Cross's battle theme just kind of grates on the nerves because it's got the violin, and you know which one I'm talking about, right?
No, which one? Play it. Let's have a listen.
All right, sure. Let's give it a listen here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad, but it's not really a battle
I
theme,
remember
I
this.
think.
I actually really like this one. You see how weird this is? I actually
Yeah.
really like this one.
I mean, music is
I-
extremely subjective. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like, I mean, Mitsuda does a stellar job. It's not a bad song. It's just not a great battle theme for me.
Not a great battle theme.
I mean, it definitely has like some craziness going on. It sounds really busy. Like there's definitely like, it describes like a hectic kind of environment for sure. But yeah, it's not. It just doesn't seem like a battle to me. It just sounds like a crazy circus.
Well, I mean, given the theme, right? But you know what this reminds me of? Like, it reminds me of. I don't know why it reminds me of this, but it reminds me of like 90s like anime battles. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what about this reminds me of that. Like, kind of like Dragon Quest like anime. That die anime from like
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
90s. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know why it reminded me of that, but like kind of like sorcery kind of battle. I don't know why that's what it reminded me of. I gotta like go down my memory lane and see like what about that course progression that reminds me of it.
What is one that you dislike though? Do you recall any that you just can't
That I
stand?
dislike?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about my favorite all-time
Okay.
battle theme. Favorite all-time battle theme, hands down. No even second close thing is the final battle in Final Fantasy VI with Kafka.
Okay.
That climb is called Dancing Mad. That entire it's like a 5 movement piece, which
Wow.
is insane. And every movement goes like along with the boss that you're fighting.
The different
And
stage.
there,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and there's symbolisms to each of the movements. It talks about like a humble origin all the way into like ascending godhood, which is basically the theme to Kafka's character.
Yeah.
So it's like he made this final boss to like remind you of his like greatness, and you will see him rise from the roots to ascending to godhood, and then he meets you at the very end, and it goes from this like beautiful orchestra mix to just like guitar riffs in the very end, which obviously is not conventional at all to be mixed into classical music, and it just completely throws you off. And that was like the final battle theme. When you finally see him, it turns into this crazy guitar, like solo.
Yeah.
So it was just phenomenal.
People are throwing out
Um,
so much Falcom music, by the way, right now. It is so
trails,
good.
trails, trails, trail.
But not
I
just Trails,
think
because East is incredible as well.
oh
Falcom
East,
is
yeah.
masterful.
Oh yeah, no, I love East music in general. Yeah, but I mean if you have to have me pick one song, that's gonna be the one. But yeah, no, I think East Origin. I still listen to like the East Origin like CD in my car. So yeah, definitely that. I do prefer East music over Trails. I'm sorry, Trails fans. I like East music better.
I mean,
I don't know what
East
it
music
is
goes a little
either.
harder, at least than the
Yeah, I
Sky.
don't.
Like it
Yeah,
is,
I don't
they do
know.
way more like hard, like guitars and
Is it because it's more action oriented? They want to make it more
probably
like yeah, like
a little more
adrenaline pumping.
visceral. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like Trails music just fine, but I am definitely a bigger East music fan. And again, I have no idea why, but I think you might have just told me why. As far as like what I don't like, yeah, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
It's really hard because the really bad ones are just forgettable.
No, I remember what I hate. Oh my god, I just remembered.
Okay.
I hated uh uh Saga Frontier 2 battle theme. Hated it. And throughout the entire game, there are multiple rendition of that song through like the different time period, and
Is
they
this
all
one?
suck. Yes, and they just all suck. Every single rendition sucked, and it was just like, just end my misery. Just please stop playing this stupid song. I don't know why I hate the song so much.
Oh man.
I,
So
you know,
I should.
I think it was just no. I think it's especially bad because like they'll change the battle theme, but like I don't understand why they changed it. Like it's like not like oh well, this character you get this theme, this
Yeah.
character you get this theme.
There's
It's
just
like,
no
I don't know.
rhyme or
Yeah, it just
reason
felt
to
like
it.
random. They're like, oh, we're just gonna change it because like why? The heck? Like why did you change it? But they all sucked, so it didn't matter. It was just all torture all the time,
Oh man.
and the
So
battle sucked. So,
so
whatever.
chat-
I hate the game.
if chat can throw out some bad battle themes, I wonder what the worst battle theme is.
I want to hear that too. Like your best and worst. Give me your best and worst. Yeah,
Or I
that's
just want to
side
see
quest
the
number
worst.
two.
I mean, the best
You
is
just
like,
want to see the worst?
because I mean the best is going to be a bunch of Falcom stuff. I want to see the worst. What's the worst you got here, chat? I'm gonna draw
That's
on the
not Falcom. Let's
communal
make
knowledge.
it difficult. I see Chrono Cross. Go away.
Chrono Cross already up there. Yeah, I already threw that out there for mine, Tarvold. But yeah, let's see what else. What else do we got?
I mean, Chrono Trigger was actually pretty good too. Like,
Chrono
just in
Trigger was
general. The
incredible.
entire soundtrack was just. I couldn't fault any of the pieces in there. It's just, they're all phenomenal.
Man.
Hmm.
I'm I'm looking back through my games and stuff, and it's hard to pick one out that is like, yeah, I didn't enjoy that music.
Xenoblade 1 and 2 music are also phenomenal. Torna was good. The Future Connected were good. Like it's just they're all good. I still listen to them in my car. Yeah. I actually liked a lot of Xenoblade 2 battle themes too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't think of anything else.
That'll-
I can think of a lot of things I like, but yeah.
that can be our second side question for everybody. If you're watching after the fact, feel free to throw that into the comments so we can read those out next time. But I think
Yeah.
that surprisingly, this was not a 3-hour long episode.
Really? Wait, how
it's-
long was it?
It's only been about 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is admittedly
Wow.
about 40 minutes longer than the last few. So it's definitely a
Yeah,
longer.
but this is well,
Yeah, not too bad. All right. Well, hey, if you guys enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to give it a like on whatever platform you are enjoying it upon, whether that be here at YouTube or elsewise on iTunes or whatever. Review it if you liked it. And otherwise, I hope you all have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of your week. Baku-san JRPG, have you got any closing thoughts?
surprisingly, no. I'm just thinking about those music. Let us know what you like and don't like.
Yeah,
because
I know.
really want to see it. Yeah,
Got music
that's
on the
about
brain
it.
now. All
Yeah.
right, guys. Have a great rest of your night. Take care, everybody.
Take care.